Hey, True Believers England team here with Twiddles, the world Twiddles. It's hurricane time, kids. It is rough outside right now. I'm going to do my best here. We'll see if we've got a show. Dalton was supposed to come in. I left the link for everybody. It's Wednesday, so everybody's off doing their own thing. Plus, in all honesty, I got to admit, it isn't like, hey, we're going to do this thing. Come on, guys. It hasn't been like that for a while, so I don't know if they're going to show up or not. In all honesty, I was looking through, not much to talk about. Although Dalton, when he was hanging out, was saying, hey, you should talk about that whole thing about Deadpool's going to join Wolverine in a movie. That's cool, but literally that's the only news we have right now, so... I don't know what else to say. Look, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman have had this little insult fight going on. Obviously, you can tell they're friends, but yeah, there you go. I don't know what to say about more than that. That was the only topic. It was like, so what's going to go on? What's happening, kids? What are you doing? I'll tell you what, we tried to get a little extra, like we're like, okay, do we have everything? No. So we went out and tried to find whatever we could that we may need that. And I got to tell you, the streets were abandoned. Nothing's open, nothing doing right now. It finally got to the point, like the winds have been constant, but at this point in time, it's heavy. And I've been seeing trees like in the picture here outside the window. Can't see it now because it's dark, but holy Toledo. Austin wants to know if you have the booze or did Gail toss it out. Hey, Gail, can I do a drunk stream? No. She didn't toss out the booze, but unfortunately, Gail is very adamant against the drunk streaming. It's because of climate change. Yeah, look, I actually fell for all that in the 70s. There was this book called Boy's Life. It was basically like a Cub Scout book, magazine. And I saw this one article, and it was talking about how we were going to be in a different ice age now. The world was going to become a new ice age. And yeah, it didn't happen, did it? There was no ice age. So, and then it happened where, like in 1985, they found a hole in the ozone layer and the world was going to burn up and the oceans are going to dry up. Never happened. That was supposed to happen by 1998. But in 1998, they announced that by the year 2000, once again, the oceans are going to dry up. Oh, no, in 1998, it was the oceans were going to rise. Forget about that drying up crap. We were wrong about that. Now they're going to rise and they're going to flood most of America. Never happened in 2015.
Can you go outside of the camera? I need to go outside. I need you to go on location.
You want me to go on location? I tried actually. I may just actually, if I could sign up for StreamYard with my phone, I guess I could take a walk outside.
Go out there. I want you to be the guy holding the American flag. You're going back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. And then in what was it called? The Inconvenient Truth. He said by 2015, Florida was going to be underwater. Hey, we're doing good, guys. We're doing fine. So I don't believe in that climate change shit. Climate, by the way, is not weather. Climate is weather over time. So people saying, oh, this means climate change, they're full of crap and they're trying to scare people. So don't give me that bullshit. Mike S. Miller's on a live stream right now talking comics and mentioned an interesting looking 80s called Martial Law. Yeah, I actually sold that at the auction here, Austin.
Haven't heard that name in a while.
The Boys Before the Boys. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, but yeah, there you go. Why the F would you watch Miller? Maybe you like Mark Miller. Just saying.
What's Mike S. Miller, you said, but
yeah, well, I know who. Yeah,
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to make your little jokes here. Your jokes. Just
went downstairs, says MK, to get water bottles, and damn mouse and small rat ran under the trench in the closets. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I will not open the back door. Is there's a storm on. The last time I did that, I was like, yeah, we could open it for a little bit. I opened it up and I saw two of them right under the fridge, and they actually had a baby. And yeah, so I don't open the door like that during storms, because you don't know what animal is looking for shelter and will find its way in.
MK, I would not go down the stairs again, because you already saw a little mouse, then a rat. They keep kicking bigger and bigger each time you go down there.
Yeah, but what are those called? The chukacabre or whatever. Those things are cute.
Chukacabre?
I don't know what it's called. Don Lemon tried to make. I saw that this guy was talking about it, and he was like, hurricanes are caused by climate change. Yeah, I don't know if you could say this one was. And he was, well, it was caused by something. Yeah, weather, you dumbass. I lived in there. You know what? So did I, Don. You're full of shit. You've always been full of shit. Shut the up about this, okay? That's going to be my thing.
He's trying to sound more relevant after he got shut down by talking about the whole royalties and stuff. The royal
Don
family.
Lemon can sniff my anal vapors. He is just so.
No man should ever sniff those anal vapors. I'm sorry. That's just.
Open the door. Let Twiddles do a live stream of how the hurricane is.
I would try.
Twiddles is not handling the storm well, to tell you the truth. He was going very nutso. So.
Well, the pressure, the change in temperature,
yeah. He's actually a little bit more jumpy and jittery. He's been biting more because he's so nervous. Yeah, Don Lemon was the same guy that said that Malaysian plane got sucked into a small black hole. Yeah, in the middle of the earth. He's a dumbass. I don't see how people.
He's the kind of guy they'd look at a plane and say, "Oh, it must be made in Malaysia."
I don't know. Anyway, we've got the hatches battened down. I've got a lighter and a candle just in case.
What's your wind speed right now?
Mine? I farted about 2. No, I haven't checked. Hey, Gail, have you checked? Have they told you what the wind speed is?
50, gusts up to 70.
Yeah, gusts up to 70 miles an hour. I'm looking out, and
you're further north, though, aren't you?
The trees. Yeah, we're in Central Florida. So
you're in Central. You're not okay.
Yeah, we're not. We're getting the side stuff. What it's going to do is it's going to go
towards
right
Georgia.
now. Right now it's screwing up Weaponized Nerd Rage. So pray for him. And then it's going out by 2 o'clock. We're going to be covered. So it kind of is doing this bit. Or it's kind of coming up like this, I believe. And so we're going to get the worst of it around 2 o'clock in the morning. So fingers crossed our power doesn't go out.
I saw, though, that it was hitting it ventured to the right. It went towards up the East Coast.
Yeah.
My brother's like so happy because like if it would have went up the Gulf towards like Tampa, he's like, I'm dead.
Yeah, it's you definitely don't want to be on the coast right now. But we're hoping the problem that's coming from this one is it's a slow storm. It's like 9 or 10 miles an hour, which means it's going to dump a shit ton of water on us as it goes
10 inches an hour, they said.
Say again?
It's like 10 inches an hour.
I heard we're planning. They're planning on us getting 1 foot to 2 feet of water. So
there's a guy. My brother sent me a video. I forgot where it was. We looked up on there. I think it was by Fort Myers. It was completely underwater. Let me look. Show the video. These guys had these nice like Audis and Lamborghinis. You know, they were just in the garage. They were just like 2 feet of water.
Yeah. Does this him being Wolverine again cheapen Logan? I don't think so.
I don't know because they explain Logan takes place in 2029. Mm-hmm. This is 2024 when it's going to come out or 20. So
well, let me ask you a question, and I mean this seriously because to me the answer is no.
No.
Does Rise of Skywalker make Empire Strikes Back a bad movie? You know, I don't understand it's a bad movie in this franchise, so all the franchise is bad. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Also, I want to
but it never did. I've heard, oh, well, this ruins it. Doesn't ruin shit, you little baby. Stop crying.
I also want to go back and make a comment on what you said about Weaponized Nerd Rage. He's already effed up. Story can do anything more worse than him.
There you go. But yeah, it's
the story.
I don't buy into that. I don't buy into the whole will this because I've heard the fucking arguments too. Oh, this is gonna be Logan. If you stopped liking the Logan movie because now they're making a Deadpool Wolverine, that's on you. Stop your bitch.
The Logan movie is also an older movie. Most people have forgotten about it.
No, I don't. It's not that old. Hey, Dalton, what's up?
What year is it from?
Me and Dalton, by the way, have been doing live streams all night. We did a news stream over at on Disney because get this, the Philadelphia police, whenever they don't have an address for a crime, have been putting it in the center of Fantasyland in Walt Disney World. So we talked about that over at the Disney Channel, and then we did a movie tier list. It was just to do something really, where we did the tier list for movies, the popular films 2010 to 2019. Somebody else made it, so it was really, let's just do something. I was telling Dalton that I think if we do these tier lists, I want to make them. I don't really want to do many other people's.
Somebody else's, because they're always missing one. They're prioritizing one.
Yeah, it's more personal. But that didn't stop me from getting one ready just in case y'all wanted to do something like that.
Maybe we should do them like year by year instead of decade by decade.
Oh yeah, well, like I said, it was just something to do on the channel. I think the year by year thing works a lot better. But I did get I looked up what's news in comics, and I was trying to find stuff, and it's a bunch of reviews. Nothing really talking about.
The only big reveal I saw was the whole manga thing with My Hero Academia. They revealed that the Invisible Girl is now invisible. Apparently, in the new chapter, she lost her perk. So there you go.
Quirk, but yeah,
whatever. Perk, quirk, same thing.
Yeah, I was looking. It just seems, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit pissy or just I'm just really, come on, that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, I hope you missed her.
Julio died. Holy shit! I just saw that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was true or not. I mean, because I saw that was going around on Instagram.
God damn, only 59 years old. Holy shit, that's young, man.
I know. I thought you were older.
That is just too young.
For whom the bell tolls.
Yeah. Wow, Coolio's
dead. He wasn't in a gangster's paradise, apparently.
Was anyone else surprised that the Queen died?
No, she's 99,000 years old.
Well,
she's 96, and she didn't, as far as I know, have any major health issues. I thought she had maybe 20 years left.
What happened is their Energizer battery ran out.
Don't insult the Queen, man. Like, for all the America, fuck yeah, let's not besmirch the Queen.
They insult their president all the time. We insult their own presidents. They insult their own queen.
Yeah, and the problem is, and I'm gonna say this, Queen Elizabeth was a better politician stroke monarch than any politician we had in that time. For all of the inner America fuck yeah-ness, both Elizabeths oversaw golden ages in their country, and I was sad to see her go.
Let me get this. MK saying that did I hear that? So there's news, not a rumor, about Superman appearing in the Flash movie.
It's still a rumor for now, at least.
Let's see. Read my first issue of issue of Action Comics today. 1047. Pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah. Let's see. I think the hurricane is going to miss us, says Ed Brewer. Fingers crossed.
Can you imagine they do the thing with Shazam to the first movie? You don't see the head, you just see the body.
96 is old. Most of us won't make it close to that. I mean, Coolio only made it to 59.
Well, yeah, but she's also she was one of the wealthiest people on the planet.
I don't want to talk about the Queen. I'm going to clip this conversation right off. RDV, don't be disrespectful. Authenticator, please. Let's talk about something more fun. The Queen.
I stopped 5 minutes ago.
All right, so there we go. All righty. I know, but have you been watching The Crown? That is a question that's put out there.
I have not. I knew Matt Smith was in it because I saw him once more take up the bow tie. Why he ever stopped taking it up, I will never know. But that's neither here nor there.
Yes, you are the defender of the bow tie.
It doesn't need defending, but since people are apparently crazy, I will state the obvious thing. Yes, bow ties are awesome, and
all right.
Kill anyone who says otherwise.
Getting back to the question at hand, though, what do I think about the rumors of Superman being in the Flash? I would love it if Cavill or even Tyler, what's his name, played the Flash or the Superman in a movie.
Honestly,
But
since we're bringing back Michael Keaton, would it kill anyone to bring back Brandon Routh?
Christopher Reeve. Oh, Brandon Routh. Okay.
Christopher Reeves. They could digital.
The way I feel about it though is I will believe it when I see it. Otherwise, as far as DC is concerned, I mean, we had a movie flat out finished and ready to go, and they canceled it. So until I see the movie from DC Comics, that movie don't exist.
What if they did this? What if they, after the Flash movie, they replaced him with Wally West because Flash died again?
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
they're gonna have to recast him one way or the other. There's no way. There's no way Spastic Flash is making it out of that multiverse.
You know what I want? I want a Jay Garrick movie set in the 40s.
So here's a question.
I've been saying DC should do period pieces forever. Like
here's a question.
I was hoping Black Adam was a period piece, so we could actually get the 1940s Justice Society.
Here's a question though.
From who?
I did a couple of videos. We did a live stream about the Keke Palmer thing, and then I put out that video about 10 black characters that need a movie before they do the race swapping and such like this. I've seen so much stuff on social media now. I'm kind of pissy about that. And I watched about 5 minutes of a Comic Perch video, and I was like, really? Come on.
Black Pill again?
What? No. Comic Perch did this video about hate buying comics. And I get it. Why would you hate buy a freaking comic? Seriously. You can pirate the fucker. Seriously. Yeah. Don't buy something you hate.
Drink up me hearties,
if you need to do a video on it, why are you paying money for it, right? But he goes along and he's like, oh, and of course the YouTubers are talking and they're all angry and such like this. I'm like, dude, you do the same thing. As a matter of fact, you're doing it right now about YouTubers. The whole point of this video is to complain about the YouTubers. And then I was just that I've seen this video before. I really have. Mm-hmm. I've seen this video. I don't know. I may have done the video before where it's like, why are you buying this even though you don't like it, to talk about it and just are you really? There's nothing new. Like Thinking Critical has been reviewing bad comics. Why would you even do that? Well, blah blah. And the question is asked by Perch. And let's face it, it's on Wes for buying the comic or pirating the comic, reading the comic to review the comic. And it's done mainly because the audience likes to watch reviews of bad comics. As a matter of fact, if I put out 2 videos, one, holy crap, this was awesome, and wow, this crap wasn't holy, and I'll tell you what, the video calling the comic book crap, that's going to get more views. Just is. Because
it's amusing to watch somebody rage, whereas it's less amusing to watch somebody fawn over something. I think is the cut and thrust of it.
Yeah, well, okay. If somebody says, "Wow, this book is really bad," the question is why.
Yeah,
and that sets a question up in the viewer's mind, so the viewer goes to it. So you are benefited by doing more negative reviews,
and that's the main problem with the black pill types is they don't even bother explaining why anymore. It's just a knee-jerk, this is insert term, therefore bad.
Holy shit. That's the way the wind's been tonight, guys. It'll be like
loud. Yep.
Well, if Eglantine winds up in Oz, we know what happened.
There you go. But this has been going on for a while. Somebody always has to bring up they hate view and all that kind of stuff. But look, our job, and I'm going to say this about Thinking Critical, about Perch, about myself, anybody who picks this up, I always felt first you got to be entertaining in some way, shape, or form. A lot of times the entertainment comes from the personality. Let's just face facts on this one. So if you by the way are started or you can't figure out why, like my channel's been nerfed, but I'm still trying to build it back, you got to make sure that you would watch that video first. If it's conversation and so forth, I actually have watched our conversations back.
Yeah, I do too.
quite proud sometimes. Okay, this point was made. This point, oh my gosh, all of us are speaking over. I'm very critical of it. Like, I really wish they would have a sharper editing tool, because I would go back. Okay, nobody can understand a word we're saying here. Click. Didn't make a point here. This, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, part of that falls.
But we're going to be, or I'll clip out because RDV tries to interrupt. I'm just kidding. Go on. What were you gonna say?
No, I said, well, part of that's actually because you have 2 or 3 people on a stream.
Mm-hmm.
You're the person that has to ask the questions, and when that person's done, you ask the other person.
Yeah, that is a great idea. If it said yes, agreed, YouTube does need a better editor. It really does. I did run into something that was defending Robin 1 being a good comic. I would love to see that. I haven't read it yet. I wanted to do that today, but in all honesty, I ran around, ate myself a lunch, took a nap. I swear to gosh, it knocked me right the hell out. And then when I got up, I was like, yeah, let's do some live streams. I forget, like, I'll be like, I'm not like a dog that walks into the room, forgets why he's there, so he just walks out. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Okay, now what? It's like one of those memory reset movies, So I completely forgot Robin 1 existed.
I did that yesterday 3 times, and I realized, oh, I was supposed to grab this from there. Okay.
Yeah, I sent a message to Dalton. Hey, let's do some live streams today. I want to see if we can. I want to see if I lose power during a live stream, or if we can finish it. So far, so good.
And then it was like 6 hours later, we're still live streaming.
Right.
Go ahead.
Let's see. No, go on. I'm finding the next.
I was looking at as far as MARANYA, basically, she's based talking about the whole Black Belt stuff, and I'll be honest, if someone hasn't viewed the comic book, TV show, movie, being Black Belt criticized, that reviewer is a fraud. They're only bashing whatever for the clicks and the hate views.
That's what I went after. The new Anointed one. You can't say anything bad about them, or the community comes down on you now. But Ripa, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because he was like, well, I didn't see the movie, but this guy gave me this review, and I think it's.
Oh God, yeah.
Up about it. If you didn't see it, I could do the same thing. Let me go and get any freaking SJW motherfucker talking about how great one of those like Men, the horror film where guess what, Men is bad. Let me go find one of them, and I could tell you exactly why that movie is great. Are you kidding me? No, you watch that shit, you do your due diligence, then you talk about it, you lazy ass. And I get it, you had a comic book to make. Then talk about making the goddamn comic book, but don't put up somebody else's review as your own. Go yourself with that.
There's one thing that's worse than that, though. Even is the people who will watch things just to pick them apart and will not pay attention to what they're actually watching.
What's that? There's an entire. They're very successful, but there's an entire freaking YouTube channel based on that. The one's Everything Bad or something like that.
Every frame of pause.
No. It's like everything bad about every mistake or everything wrong with
CinemaSins.
CinemaSins. Okay, yeah, everything wrong with this movie in 20 minutes, and there's like they would say
things that they actually got wrong.
Thing that's wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
Thing that's wrong is wrong with no explanation. Well, actually, if you watch 3 seconds, you'll get the explanation.
Yeah. If you watch the 20 seconds on either side of this clip, the explanation you're looking for is right. And I had that same feeling with and I know it's old news by this point, but it really got to me. But when I watched Gary from Nerdrotic Channel's takedown of Multiverse of Madness, he got things objectively, factually wrong, and I was just like, wait a minute. Like, he said that Doctor Strange was Sorcerer Supreme in his first movie, and I'm like, there's literally a scene at the end of that movie where Wong says there is no Sorcerer Supreme to defend the planet. So where the hell are you getting that from, please?
Yeah. Let's see. Nitpicking is different than trashing, says Into Disguise. What
I mean is when they're so focused on trashing a thing that they won't do the 2 seconds of thinking to put 2 and 2 together to get 4, or if they don't remember half of the lore unless it's convenient for them.
some books, says Into Disguise, deserve to be roasted, but some books, some people look for things to complain about. And here's, I remember we got a lot of trash because my brother, when he was part of the channel, what we did was we separated books. Okay, you review these, you review these, you review these, and he got Black Panther, and he liked Black Panther, written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, and. The thing is he was very much like that. He goes, he was not pro SJW. He was very anti SJW, but he was like, I like this film or this comic. What can I say? You know, he liked it, and we got trash for it. He was not going to search for shit to complain about. He was
he's actually going to make the argument if the argument is to be had, and if
I
not,
thought it was bad. He didn't. Ahsoka is saying, am I the one who wants to know what happened to Richard Grayson in Batman Beyond? I haven't seen it in forever.
Well, I want to comment on what she said about earlier. The whole thing with Batman versus Deathstroke. We were going to get that. We were going to get Batfleck versus Deathstroke, but well, no longer having.
I haven't seen it in forever and a day. I couldn't tell you. Is that the comic or the show? Because I haven't read it.
Well, she's talking about as far as the other one. I don't know.
Okay.
Deathstroke, though, in the Snyder Cut, the Justice League, they introduced Deathstroke. Man, I would have loved to have Deathstroke versus Batman, actually versus Batfleck. After seeing Batman versus Superman, that fight scene with Batfleck, the extended scene, that is awesome.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen a fight between Batman and Deathstroke with that kind of choreography, because the choreography of that fight was incredible. Incredible. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know enough about Batman Beyond. I haven't watched. I got it on DVD, but I haven't watched the show.
Oh, Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
What did she say about it?
Wondering what happened to Dick Grayson. I just couldn't tell you because I haven't seen it in forever.
Oh, and the cartoon series, in the cartoon series, Dick Grayson and Barbara broke up because he both found out the whole Killing Joke. Remember, he found out that Bruce had slept with Barbara. That was a cartoon. That was an animated series thing. Now, as far as the comic books, they've changed it. I think. Okay. It's. I mean, it's been. I don't know. I think they changed it later on. They retconned it out like they always do. Well, we can't have this stuff in here. Tim and I was just saying, Jason Todd did not exist at all in the Batman Beyond stuff. That's a new. Where Tim did, and Tim was the one that got buzzed by the Joker, and then he just went kind of crazy and could have stopped being Robin. So
now thank you very much, Dark Admiral. We're doing well so far. The wind's really working on us here. At this point, they say it's going to get worse in about 2 hours. It's really, I think we're just now getting the big stuff. It's been going on and off, but for the last hour now, it's been sustained. There's been no real reprieve from anything. Very happy we've kept our power on, and I'm fingers crossed we do keep our power on. So you
need one of those cameras outside your house.
Let me see. I haven't looked this up. I want to actually. I went out and filmed the hurricane, but I can't find a wire that will actually allow me to put it on the computer. I don't know what's going on. Like, my phone is now hooked up to my computer, and I can't get the video off of it. It just isn't reading for some reason.
I know. It's just funny because you couldn't figure out how to hook up your charger.
I can't. Well, no, I can figure out how to do that.
Now you do after you turned it around. But he said he thought it was the wrong cable. I don't know where to put the cable. Then he turned it around. Oh, it works.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you suck. All right.
Rhaegar Twilight has 4 books in it. It's not a trilogy.
Yeah, it has Edward's point of view. That's the 4th one, I believe, right?
No, if you count the one with Edward's point of view, there's 5.
Oh yeah, you're right. There is Breaking Dawn and then New Moon, or like 2 or
Twilight, New Moon, Breaking Eclipse, Breaking Dawn is the 4, and then
I think we're gonna be fine.
And then the 5th one is Midnight Sun, I believe is what it's called.
I don't know. I watched Twilight with my girlfriend back in the years, and
I didn't have
it wasn't that bad.
I didn't have a tier list for the DC Expanded Universe Asaka. I was actually working on a DC animated. I'm not done with it. I pulled one up though. It was just villains, and it's got a good size list here. And I thought if we did a tier list, we could do that one because I don't see anything like I don't know who's missing or anything like that. But I thought, yeah, if y'all wanted to do that.
Austin, don't slander me. I've never actually read the books. I have, however, seen the movies because eye candy, because gay. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't know. I've read the books, dude. They're like I said, people shit on everything, but nobody actually wants to actually read the books or watch.
My mom read the books, and she was reading the books around the time the movies came out. But I've only seen the movies, and then only ever rewatched New Moon and Eclipse because Taylor Lautner is hot. But that's neither here.
I watched the movie.
There he is.
Well, I don't want this to happen all night. Hello to Dominic, by the way, who's been silent all this time.
When I had my kidney
Hello
stone
to Dominic. How you doing, dude?
So when those books
I'm doing well. Well, just got back to the apartment after a night of trivia. How about yourself?
Hurricane.
I was gonna say when I had my kidney stone, dude. I never wish it on anybody. I don't care what gender you are. Those things hurt. I was on taking like Vicodin and some other stuff, and so my little sister had the books, and I was bored. There was absolutely nothing. So I started reading them. I was like, "This is the most weirdest book I've ever read. Like, it's from her point of view. I've never heard of third or first person narrative. You know
What?
Yeah.
You don't read much, do you, VENKMAN?
I don't. Why would I read it when they make a movie of it?
Because the books are always better.
Are they? Is Avengers better than the comics?
Yes. Are the Avengers movies better than comics? Oh, let me think. Yes. Hold on. Let's really tear this. Yes. Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm being wishy-washy here. Absolutely yes.
Only Civil War. Civil War was a terrible story, but they actually fixed it for the movie.
No, that was absolutely better. You're not saying are the Avengers better than the movies like Civil War book is better than Civil War movie Infinity? Okay, that's a little bit different. But the Avengers movies versus the Avengers comics that are going on right now, hell to the fucking yes.
Well, yeah, but everything in the movies is better than what's going on in the comics right now because the comics right now are being written by people who hate comics.
And I agree with MARANYA.
You're not wrong, Dalton.
Jaws is infinitely better than the book. Silence of the Lambs is better than the book. There are books out there that are definitely better. So,
what I'm saying is, in general, on balance, if you read a book if you read a book, the book is usually going to be better than the movie. The exceptions exist, but they are rare.
Godfather's better than the book.
Yeah, but it's also one of the greatest movies of all time, and that's the effort you have to put in to make a movie that's better than a book.
The movie Mary Poppins is better than the series of books.
That one I would debate you on, I think.
You would lose. I like The Shining book better than the movie, says Ahsoka. So did I.
Oh, 1,000 and
that book is way better.
Infinite times, Jesus Christ! Shining was terrible.
The only time a movie was better than the book. Well, I can't say only. I'd have to think about it. The Shawshank Redemption, the movie is better than Stephen King's book.
Infinitely, yes. But
that's off of a short story. I would also have to say Stand By Me is better than The Body.
But that's also, again, short story in comparison to 2 hours.
What were you saying, Dominic?
I mean, Shawshank Redemption and the Body, by the way, they're actually from novellas, not really short stories. And another example of a movie or a TV show that is better than the source material is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yes,
it was better than the book so much. The author made a sequel for the book and decided to follow what the movie did for that sequel.
Yeah, and I gotta give the author of Who Framed Roger Rabbit props for A, being able to admit the movie was better, and B, being able to admit that he wasn't the end all and be all of what Who Framed Roger Rabbit was supposed to be, and changed it that way. But like I said, that's the caliber of movie you need to make in order to make the movie better than the book. 9 times out of 10, the movie will be a flawed adaptation.
So here's a question for Eve. Ben McKenzie, Batman Year 1 animated movie, or the books?
Wait, say again.
Batman
Year 1 movie or book,
or the movie. Ben McKenzie
book. I like the movie, but I think I like the book a little bit better. Keep going.
Long Halloween, movie or book?
Book.
I gotta say I like the movie more.
You like the movie a little more? No, I like the book.
You got what's his name? The guy.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the guy who plays Robot Man. I always forget his name. Was the guy who was gonna play Firefly? What's his name? The actor, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser, yeah.
I think was it him or was it Josh Jamal? One of the two did Red Hood in the actual movie, and that was holy crap. It sounded better than the animated series. Not Red Hood, but Two-Face. Like that act. I mean, so and plus I felt the books were too much of a drag versus the movie.
Yeah, but you're also not much of a reader, Venkman, as we've established.
I read comic books. I don't read novels.
He reads quite a bit actually. These days he also has been expanding all the way to Silver Age, Bronze Age, and he's been going, wow, I'm interested in this, and he read the entirety of John Byrne's run of Superman. And by that I mean well past, if I remember correctly.
I'm in the triangle era now.
Yeah, and he's been that whole thing about educating Jimmy. RDV's the one that got comic book educated. Maranya's right. The book was called Who Censored Roger Rabbit, and Roger Rabbit was dead by the end in the book. By that point, all older Disney films are better. Even ever read Brothers Grimm? Some. I've read a couple of books full. Let's see. Here's a question for E. The entire Batman Returns animated movies or the books? Oh, The Dark Knight Returns. Okay, here's the thing I have with that. First of all, Dark Knight Returns, incredible, freaking incredible. Incredible Batman movie. You put them together, it's one long, good movie. I miss the voiceover. That's the only thing. Like when you're reading, he's got his thoughts and everything.
The inner monologue.
Yeah, the inner monologue. I miss that. That's the only thing that keeps the books or the movie not being up to the same. But yeah, I mean, if you're going down, down the list, what was the New Frontier? I think was actually better than the books, only because it condensed it. It took away but it's still a great book. Let's see what else. I like the movie better for the Justice League, the New 52 Justice League story, War. I like the movie better than the book on that one as well. Because, I did. Let's see. Actually, I hate to say I didn't understand a bunch of references and felt lost watching it. What were we talking about? I saw something this way a few years ago, hated it. Oh, I can't agree with you on that thing. That's just...
Yeah, no, that's... I'm sorry, but that's no.
I still need to read and watch Something Wicked This Way Comes, because it was during a time when Disney was expanding their palette to horror.
They actually had teeth, yeah, on occasion.
Yeah,
and actually, the last horror movie Disney did was Don't Look Under the Bed for Disney Channel.
I remember Don't Look Under the Bed, the one about
with Kevin Spacey, right?
Imaginary Friends and Boogeyman, that was kind of a better version of Drop Dead Fred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved Something Wicked This Way Comes. I pulled up a Stephen King tier list as well. I don't know how many Stephen King book fans are here.
Ooh, I'm gonna enjoy that. I'm gonna enjoy that so much.
Silver Bullet.
That was Cycle of the Werewolf, which I keep threatening to do. I will do a reading of Cycle of the Werewolf this Halloween. I think that'd be fun. Bird, don't stay there.
Don't worry. He's probably not going to do anything to you.
No, what he's going to do is he's going to flip down to yell at me in my face to pay attention to him, because he's not taking the storm very well, and he wants me to take him into the theme park. His theme park is the bathroom, by the way. What I do is I turn on the water a little bit, and I'll get him a little bird bath, and I put a towel up so he can run around it, and I let him. Hello, there you go. That's it. And now you're the show. Thank you very much.
It's like, Daddy, it's raining. Why won't anyone pay attention to me?
Oh, Twiddles, that never changed.
This is my life right here, kids.
Look at that. I love that filter you got on the Instagram filter.
Say again.
Instagram filter looks like a real bird's on your face.
I know, right? That's my eye. Okay, god damn it. There's nothing to hold on to, you dumbass bird.
My boxer, like he would do that every now and then to like catch me and my other relatives like attention, like just to play with him and whatnot.
Say hello. There you go.
We need pirate team. That's what Twiddle's saying.
You're the star of the show now, Twids. It's all you. Take it away. Go. What do you want to say?
If only he could sing.
I know, right? Other than just make that loud ass annoying noise.
He's a bird and yet does not sing.
Yeah. Well, they make that noise. They chirp.
He was singing at his funeral.
Yeah. Twiddles is a Batman wannabe. The birds looks like it's an aha video. Yeah, because of the green, when I put on the green screen, he disappears.
You should have the green screen down and just have the windows open.
Right. Yeah, he would freak out. He's not taking the hurricane very well here.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The best way to get over your fears is to be chucked into the hurricane.
Yeah. The squirrels hate the smell of alcohol. If so, that's a big argument for a drunk stream. Hey, let's go get the alcohol, kids.
Gail's there. Gail wasn't there.
Poop, bird, poop. Yeah. Look, he has anointed both me and Gail, where we'll be sitting there. He'll get on my shoulder and such, and I'm sleeping, and then I'll feel bump. I'm like, son of a bitch, you know. He did that to Gail too. Yeah. Let's see. The only two King books in the movies I've watched have been the original Carrie and the original It. I've yet to read it because the movie scared me that badly.
I don't.
The new movie, that'll do the trick there, Maranya. As bad as the first one was, the new one, that kicked all sorts of ass.
Yeah, and the book is top tier Stephen King. I still say The Stand is better, but that is a toss up.
The deluxe edition of The Stand that has all the inserted pages and everything, that to me is the best book Stephen King has written. Yep.
I can't, and I'm glad I waited to read it when I did, because I read it during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Prescient thy name is Stephen King.
Yep.
Jesus, tap dancing right.
Yep. He's trying to murder you, you fool. Florida is a stand your ground state. Murdering the bird is justified. Yeah. But yeah, I brought up a couple tier lists just in case you guys want to do it. One is superhero villains. One is the Stephen King books, because we were talking about it, and I was like, hey, okay. But I realized there is a period where it seems like I stopped reading Stephen King. Just stopped. So
let's do the Stephen King one.
You want to do Dominic? Are you into Stephen King books?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
I'm going to edit one thing here, though, at the very bottom, because they've got FEDCBA. That's way too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiers.
I'm glad you're talking about Stephen King movies, not Tom King movies.
No, not Tom King.
No, books.
Too.
Imagine if Tom King's books were turned into movies. Like a Bendis movie. You don't want that.
Right, F is usually in tier rankings like the worst, while E is bad.
Bendis actually, his show Naomi wasn't offensive. It wasn't good, but it was mid. Like She-Hulk.
He's gonna have to pull off a few miracles before I'll forgive him for all the shit he's done.
I'll just say, Naomi on CW is better than She-Hulk on Disney Plus.
Well, yes, but that is not a high bar.
I know.
That bar is buried certain fathoms in the earth, like Prospero's staff at the end of the Tempest.
I almost dare to say that Batwoman is better than She-Hulk.
Them is some fighting words, my friend.
I mean, as She-Hulk, there is no one in the cast to like.
Okay, I would disagree with you. Okay, fair enough. Alice was pretty freaking amazing in Batwoman, and she was the only reason worth watching it.
Yes,
but this is actually an interesting question. Which did I enjoy watching more? Did I enjoy watching Alice in Batwoman more, or did I enjoy watching Wong be the only good character in the show for 2 episodes from She-Hulk? Okay. The Wong subplot at least possibly finally gave us something resembling Mephisto, so fine. Whereas Alice had to carry that entire show in Batwoman, and
she did, dude. I gotta say though, that
she did, but she shouldn't have had to, and it was a lot of work.
For 3 seasons, she carried that show. That was hilarious.
And then she disappeared randomly, and I was just like, you got rid of your only good character. Batwoman, why?
Yeah, if they would have had the 4th season, I don't think she would have been in it because they had her like going to Switzerland to get help.
Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Let me just say.
Don't threaten us. All right. Marania says, I happen to like She-Hulk. I'm tired of all the nitpicking, Black Pill's bashing it. I like the fact that it tries to be funny. It's a relief from all the super serious Marvel shows. I will say this. The one positive thing about She-Hulk, they troll the people that hate the show.
You and I would disagree on the definition of the word positive with regards to that. You don't... The best way to get back at your haters is to not dignify them with a response. By engaging in this playground tit for tat they do, it only makes them look worse, and usually it ends up making them look worse because they deserve to look worse for engaging in this playground tit for tat bullshit. Also usually they end up strawmanning the shit out of the people that don't like it rather than actually addressing the argument. And I
what are we talking about?
She-Hulk, and
She-Hulk.
it's She-Hulk, and it's hate boner for a certain fan base that it decides to strawman the fuck out of.
I've watched every episode. I do it hoping I'm going to like it. And there are elements I do like. I'd like the Immortal Man, but it didn't make sense to me because his entire case was that he kills himself to get out of personal contracts and everything, but he's not dead long enough for it to affect anything. Like if they showed him jump out the building and he was dead to the point where the examiner examined the body, filled out paperwork, he was presumed or announced dead and he had to come back, then that's different. That affects things. But landing on a car and then going, oh, I was dead. No, you weren't dead long enough for anybody to change the legally binding paperwork. I'm sorry. It's a bullshit premise.
I'll challenge you that because these women are that stupid. The only way they found out is by this one person recognized them on TV.
No, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There
are stupid people.
I know that's what they said, but you started talking before you heard the point. The point was it doesn't matter because he's never dead long enough in the She-Hulk TV show
for anyone to actually notice and change
for
things.
Any paperwork to go through. In order to be, he would have to actually have been pronounced dead, and then have all that legal shit taken care of. But he never is, so they up their own storyline trying to be clever, which this show should really not try to do because it freaking fails constantly.
And that's the other thing is we could have had a show actually about the character of She-Hulk, this bubbly, showboating, self-confident character who enjoys having people look at her because she understands that sexuality is one of her powers. But instead, we got a bitter, cynical, middle-aged bitch who spews gender studies talking points every 5 fucking minutes. And that wouldn't bother me if they actually bothered to justify her hatred of people here and there. But instead of doing that, they straw man every male human and several female humans on the goddamn planet.
It is a script written by Twitter.
And
the fact that he was not dead long enough to invalidate the first. That's what I'm saying. There should have been no pay, because you see him. He lands on the car, and then he gets back up. If he's only dead that long, then it just, the other
no one would even notice, because no one would even notice that he was dead to begin with.
So they messed up what could have been a good character. But there you go.
And they did that as a joke, though. It wasn't meant to be. He did that every single time, though.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but the problem with jokes is A, they have to make sense on some level, and B, they actually have to be successfully funny, and none of the above has been accomplished by She-Hulk.
Here's how to make this joke funny. What you do is you have him brought in. This is during one of the early episodes, and you have this whole thing where they're going through a divorce. She-Hulk's representing the wife, and the Immortal Man's being yelled at and screamed at, blah, 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 and he has enough. So that's when he does the whole run, jump out the window, lands on the car. It's like, holy what just happened? And the wife kind of goes, not again. Something like that, right? So she knows what's going on. They don't know what's going on. And so a few episodes down the road, maybe even the last episode, they run into it and they find out that's how he dies. And that's when all of this stuff like that episode comes up.
If they wanted to make it just a joke, as in purely a gag, what they could do is make him kind of like the character of Scampers from Igor, and give him a death wish. So he keeps trying more and more absurd ways to kill himself, and it gets so over the top that it becomes funny. That would have also been.
So Austin P, if you want us to change the subject.
No, Austin P, if you want to be highlighted, you leave a super chat.
Well, if you want us to change
otherwise, you read off the chat. Yeah, read off the comment.
I wasn't going to read it off. I was just going to say, if you want us to change the subject, super chat.
Or give us a topic. I guess we could go to that Stephen King thing, but we are a comic book channel. Just saying.
I mean, I want to do the Stephen King.
I didn't want to talk about She-Hulk in the first place. You know why? Sucks. I mean, at the end, we'll do for the TV channel, for the movie channel, we'll talk about She-Hulk. But
because somebody insisted on making me go through it in a live watch, and now I feel the need to be a completionist.
There you go.
And by the way, I will pay you back for that someday.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know.
You'll forget the period. I'll just keep going. I'll get you back.
I can't finish Gotham. It leaves tonight.
Oh, that's okay.
We're on season 4, or we just started season 4 of the 5. So,
better show. Watch Every Little's Raymond.
What was I would have too if it was more, if we talk about it, then they win. But I agree with In a Disguise, not if you're trashing it. But and here's a question I was going to ask. It seems to me, and maybe you guys feel the same way, that with the movies, at least with the comic books for sure, how much of it, for some of them anyway, do you think they're just doing out of spite? This is a whole new industry, and it's an industry brought up by Twitter and social media, and it seems like they're willing to destroy the DC and Marvel universe, or at least the mainstream books and such like that, just to make their freaking point. Does it feel that way to you? Because sometimes it feels that way to me.
Yeah, I think it's partly spite and partly morality, because they consider it actually a moral good to spite people like us. So that's part of why they do it.
By being racist, usually. Hey, Dominic, what's up? When did you get here?
What are you talking about?
I'm joking around, dude. You've been quiet.
He doesn't say much in comparison to the rest of us, is the joke.
Yeah.
You can't get
I was listening. Hey, I wasn't listening, and I didn't want to interrupt.
See?
By all means, what's your take on that?
Well, so I mean, yes, it's partly out of spite, and they think they're doing it morally good. However, they However, they don't realize by doing this they're doing more harm than good in the long run, and which also shows their ignorance of not just the medium but also its history and the characters they are working with. If they've actually just sit down and actually listen to us, like the fans who have been like, with this medium for, well, who knows how long, then they'll actually have an understanding and see that how they're going about, they need to change it. Otherwise,
But
if they keep.
But the problem, Dominic, is they don't want to understand. They don't want actually to care about these characters. They want to see them as a means to an end because that is their framework. Their framework is every piece of art is a means to an end rather than an end in itself. And therefore, to even view art as an end in itself is morally wrong in their minds. That's the problem.
In other words, they're not operating in art for art's sake. They think like art needs to have a political or moral justification to exist. Yet when you stop to think about it, they don't.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Ed Brewer is saying if going what gets you broke, then all of these companies and over the course of all these years wouldn't still be doing it. They're subsidized. What I think is happening, there's it's the BlackRock thing. What they're saying is there's like something called the ECO or something like that score. And they're telling people that they're not going to back you. Apparently there's somebody, it's kind of like E.F. Hutton. When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. If BlackRock blackballs you, then you are, and that's not a porn term. If they do this, then apparently you lose all sorts of perks, and it's hard to get your company grown. So a lot of people listen to them. They have this thing, the ECO score, something like that, and they made it so you have to do these woke things in order to get
ESG score is what you're
there you go, ESG. Thank you. And it's and people have been going by that. Now, some companies have said, you know what, out. I'm not doing it. You go on and you do your thing, and they found out that they're making money anyway. So I think this is one thing. A lot of companies, if they should just look at it and go, yeah, you know what, we're not doing that shit anymore.
It comes to show that the culture as well as the entertainment, like they are finally waking up from the nonsense and realize that what they're doing is not working and is doing more harm. Mm-hmm. Which in turn like show that things are gradually swinging back to the middle.
Yeah, that's.
And here's the other half of the dichotomy. Not only do you have some of these corporations being subsidized by the Soroses and the World Economic Forums and the ESG scores and so on, but you also have the actual on the ground true believers, the journalists and the air quotes artists. They actually hate capitalism. And so it's good in their minds if they don't make money because that's destroying capitalism from the inside of capitalism.
Yeah.
It's using capitalism to destroy itself.
Dominic, are you a Stephen King fan?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I mean, even though the guy has a severe case of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, I still like his works, and even though he hasn't done anything like egregious, which calls for a separation of art from the artist, he has made works, whereas that for the most part that has endured as time passed.
Alrighty, so we'll get to this thing in just a little bit. Austin is asking for recommendations of good Halloween comics. Now, there was a Michael Myers comic in the 2000s, if you can find it, that was awesome. I've done some videos here, some horror book reviews and such. A lot of times, in all honesty, comic books do not lend themselves well to horror because you've got to create an atmosphere. And unfortunately, when you can see an entire page versus, say, a camera can control what's going on or a book controls your imagination. Otherwise, I've got this right here, and I would say, in all honesty, it's even better in black and white. But the old House of Mysteries were pretty good. The old Tales of Crypt were fun. Let's see. There was a book out a few years ago that got really blasted by some in this group because it was about a Muslim woman It was called Infidel. I would recommend that, by the way. That was more recent. They did a Michael Myers, a Nightmare on Elm Street, and a Friday the 13th that was pretty awesome. I'd recommend that. And by the way, I would also recommend Afterlife with Archie.
So current ongoing is called a town called Terror by Image.
Okay.
I wrote 30 Days, 30 Nights. It is released. The first 6 issue just came out. That's the first arc. They're gonna continue it. The other book I recommend you, if you love Freddy, you love Jason, and you love Evil Dead, Freddy versus Jason versus Ash from 2007.
I remember that. That's pretty good. All right.
I'll recommend you a series of Trick or Treat anthology comics written by Michael Dougherty, i.e. the same person who did the Trick or Treat movie, which is also Amazeballs, but that's a different story. There's also Choke Gas from EC, which you can actually get in a really nice hardcover version for like $20 last time I looked.
Tales of the Crypt too, all that stuff.
Yep.
Can you get a omnibus for Tales of the Crypt? Because I've been looking and I haven't found an omnibus.
I'm pretty sure you can find one. I don't know how expensive it would be.
Was the other one Creepy? That was Creepy Magazine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, by the way,
Creepy is the other one. Yeah.
By the way, I'm not going to name names, but I am looking at some awesome freaking lots to get for the auction. That it would be really nice if I could get those. So, just saying. One auction feeds into the other, and there's this dude. He's got a whole freaking lot of EC and old Marvel graphic novels, a lot of the Tales of the Crypt and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay.
So I don't know. Eric's gonna start bidding in the auction.
What? I
know that Eric's gonna start bidding in the auction.
He will if I get this lot. I'll guarantee it. It's awesome. I remember when Neil Gaiman advice for comic writers, where he recommends putting surprises on the left page or behind an ad. Those two types of pages are where you want to put them. Exactly. Yeah, because the full page is revealed to you. I was watching or I was reading a Conjuring book they did last year, and they kept trying to do jump scares. I'm like, it doesn't work. I could see it. It's there, you know. DC Comics may have what it needed, a severe pruning, of what they are producing, plus pruning nonsense staff if the new head of the parent company has his way. The problem with DC now, though, is that you're right. They cut off a lot of titles, but they left the bad artists and writers. So it's like, hey, we're going to have Batman. And yes, you have Ram V and you've got Scott Snyder, but you also have here's the Knights, the Fortress or whatever it's called, and then you have Superman, son of Krypton, Superboy, from what I talk about it. So if you're only producing 10, 5 of them are good, 5 of them are woke shit, it still feels like most
this way. The less good books they have at DC, the less I'm buying at DC. I can finish more indies.
The problem, Austin, with taking any advice from Neil Gaiman, and I've learned this one the hard way, is Neil Gaiman does not take his own advice, ever. No matter how much he should, no matter how much it makes perfect sense for him to do so, Neil Gaiman thinks one rule for me and another rule for literally everyone the fuck else.
We're going to be a little bit quick about this, and I don't know how much of our audience we're going to lose because this is a comic book channel, but you asked for it, so here we go. Stephen King books. No. Let's see how this one goes. Do you read Stephen King's, what's his name? VENKMAN?
Nope.
Okay. Go off of the movies. All righty, Dominic, I'm going to let you start us off. First book up is JFK. We've got didn't read it, awful, bad, average, good, awesome, and S, because you guys really need that S tier. Can't awesome be the S, but okay. Anyway, there we go. What now? JFK. This book is actually called 11/22/63. It's all about a guy who goes back in time to 1963 on the day that John F. Kennedy is going to be shot.
Wait, let's watch it there.
And he tries to be he tries to stop this. Dominic, what would you say about this one?
I would put 11, 22, 63 on the A tier.
A tier. Okay, the good tier.
Yeah.
All right. I've only read Salem's Latin part of it, and see, this is what I was worried about with Stephen King. If nobody else read it, I don't know. Well, you get a recommendation list. Let's see. We've got good, then awesome. I don't even know why we need an S, but I would put it good.
Well, in this list, it's going to be known as the stand tier because that's where the stand is going.
All right. We'll put this up on the good tier then. There we go.
We also there's one that says didn't read at the bottom, so we all get the vote.
Yeah, but that's why. Well, did you not read?
Nope, did not read it.
Dalton, did you read it?
I read it. It's fine where it is. I'm not going to.
It's good. Yeah, that's basically it. Bag of Bones. A writer. Most of Stephen King's heroes are writers.
Gee, what are you trying to say there, Stephen?
Yeah, goes to his summer home. His wife had died. He meets a young lady there. The house is haunted, and then the mafia comes for some reason. I thought it was okay. It's average at best, in my opinion.
3.
Dominic?
I would put Bag of Bones on average as well.
How about you, Dominic? Or Dalton?
Yeah, it's where it's supposed to be. It's fine.
Okie dokie. Black House. Never read it.
I've read it.
No.
Dang. Well, I want to say I have not yet read Black House. However, I will say it is a sequel to The Talisman that has been written by King and his frequent collaborator Peter Straub.
Yes.
May he rest in peace, because Peter Straub has recently died this year.
Okay, well, I did read Talisman, but we're talking about Black House. Did you read it?
Unfortunately, I have not.
Okay, we'll put that on the didn't read.
It's on my list.
Not a Stephen King fan, so you want to be hearing much from me, says Rhaegar. Stephen King freaks me out too much. S for Stan Lee. Salem was good. I'm a sucker for. Yeah, I think we're having our own list here. Blaze, never read it.
Blaze. I vaguely remember reading that. It was kind of meh, so average.
Okay, how about you, Dominic?
Yeah, I would place it on average. And it's disappointing that this book has not been reprinted for a good long while.
I've got a copy. I'm very glad to hear that. That means it's worth money. I'll sell it on eBay. Carrie. Now I got to tell you, I thought Carrie was a solid book. It's a good book. It's not great, but for a first timer, for the first big novel or the first novel even, yeah, it's pretty good. I'd put this on the good.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's not as good as he would become, but it's like you say, for a first time out, Jesus, okay. that'll do.
Wait, let me get my paper so I can write it down and average this stuff out, because everybody's we do have books where people are participating. Okay, so Carrie, and let's see, it was didn't read it, awful, bad, good, or average, good, and awesome, and tier list. Okay, so it was
didn't read, didn't watch.
Didn't read, bad, average, good, awesome.
Oh, so Ed, you're right. Okay, you're over there. All right.
Okay, so let's see what we're getting here. When I said S for Stanley, I was giving the S tier a name. That wasn't an actual vote. Carrie is amazing, says MARANYA. So I think she's going S. How about you? Where do you figure, Dominic?
I would put it under the A tier instead of S. So awesome. It goes to awesome.
Right. Yeah. I read Carrie. I liked it, says Ed. Doing okay in Tampa, miss so. Evening, I hope you guys are doing okay in Florida. Now, Ed was in the path earlier. I'm in the path now. I'm glad that I'm glad you're okay down there, Ed.
Zach had posted that there was there was sharks swimming in the flooded areas.
I'm pretty sure there's always a picture of that.
Sharknado.
Let's see. This is where Professor Geek's usual stream crowd would be helpful. That crowd is filled with Stephen King. Bring him over. Tell them, hey guys, come on over. We're doing a tier list. Okay, I'm done. Betty, bye. Be safe. All right, Anna Disguise, take care. Be safe, guys. We're planning on doing the same here. All righty. So,
although Professor Geek is a pretentious twat, so I don't know if his fans would be helpful here.
Okay, well, bring the fans. Professor Geek's welcome too.
Guys, don't be careful. Take chances. Make mistakes. Get messy.
There you go. And where would you put Carrie, Dalton?
It's not quite S tier, but it was a really good first.
It looks like this is going to A.
Out. So
right.
yeah,
awesome. We got our first awesome. We got a good 2 averages. Cell was bad. This book was bad. The movie is worse, by the way.
I know.
The Cell. Oh God.
This is a book where the cell phone signal goes off and people start becoming very violent, like zombies, and attack each other.
It's fun of it.
But then you discover that they're actually forming some sort of mind thing to destroy the Earth.
Hive mind or something. Yeah,
it's bad. It's really
Lopez, right.
So what did you think, Dalton? Did you read this or see the movie?
It's bleh. Like, it's one of those where I think Stephen King thought he was being smart. He was not being smart. He was doing a bad riff on like a Twilight Zone.
Okay, where would you put it?
Yeah, it's bad.
Maranya says South sounds like it sounds like the planet's disease, right? The anti-life question.
Okay, how about you, Dominic?
I'll put it bad.
Bad. Okay, and
yeah,
then
even though like it has some like redeeming qualities and like in areas like where King like could have done it for the plot as well as the characters. However, it was executed very poorly. So
it really was. The best we're getting right now is Miss So saying she read it and it was kind of tedious. That's the best review. Ed says he couldn't finish it or didn't finish it.
Yeah,
so we got our first bad. I don't know if I'd call it awful, but it's definitely bad. Christine, 16. Christine, yeah. No, nobody kiss fan. No.
Hey, nice.
The movie and the books are great.
Christine was my first King book. I liked it. Awesome, says Ed Brewer. All right, what are you saying, RDV?
I said S, man.
He goes all the way S tier. How about you, Dominic?
I might have to get back to you on that.
Okay, then I'll say this. Christine was one of my first Stephen King. I don't remember what I picked up first. It might have been Christine because I remember watching the movie and loving it. And then I read the book and I started hating the movie. I like it now again, but watching the movie and then reading the book, you get so much more information. You find out that this is a ghost story.
Yeah.
This isn't just an evil car. It's a ghost story. You don't get that in the movie. And at times you even have scenes where the ghost is attacking Arnie. It's a really strong, powerful book, in my opinion, much more so than the movie lets on. I'm going to agree and say it's awesome. Dominic, how about you?
All right. While I wouldn't put Christine on S tier, it definitely belongs under awesome.
Okay, so we've got 2 on the awesome. How about you, Venkman? Where would you? Oh yeah, you put it on.
So you said although you would put on S, you're going to put it awesome. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, okay. Because S is the tier above awesome. It's for the like.
I would.
Dalton, where would you put this book?
It's where it's supposed to be. It deserves to be in the awesome tier.
The awesome tier or the S tier?
Awesome.
Hey, Marvel. Welcome to the book channel where we're talking about anything but comics.
Hey, that's fine. I'm good with that. We're doing a little something different. That's fine. And we're losing. I know we lost a whole bunch of viewers when I said we're going to do this, but Okay, we'll have fun.
I thought you did movies.
To be fair, a couple of King's books have been adapted into comic books.
Yeah, that's true.
Although, an example would be The Stand, as well as the Dark Tower series, which I'm surprised that any of the other books hasn't been adapted yet, because
because the one attempt to do Dark Tower crashed and burned horribly because it deserved to. Even though I will say Matthew McConaughey did all right as Walter or Flag.
We'll get to the movies later on the other channel. Cujo is the book that we're talking about now.
I haven't read the book, like the movie though.
Okay, well, you know what? Here's something, guys. I get it. You probably watched, more people probably saw the movie, so rate the book off the movie. Just participate, have a good time. Venkman, then, what would you say about Cujo? What you know of it?
As far as the movie goes, I mean, I thought it was actually one of his better movies. I mean, I love the whole man's best friend, mother. It's a mommy's day movie. You think
Okay.
of it. Watch it with your mother. That's a Mother's Day movie. There you go. You watch it how this woman protects her child.
Where would you put?
What I put it? I put it in awesome.
In awesome. Okay, Dalton. How about Cujo?
I didn't like Cujo as much as a lot of people did, I think.
Okay.
It's one of those that went into silliness territory a little bit too hard.
All right. And
I'm gonna have to put it in average.
Average. Alrighty. How about you, sir?
I would honestly put Cujo under. Oh, dang it! Awesome or good.
This is one of those books where I got shocked because I read this at school. Like, I would do my work and then I started reading, and I was reading Cujo. And there's a line in there where this lady, the main character, has an affair, and she's arguing with him, and she goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe I had this guy's penis in my mouth." And I was like, whoa, okay. That was so. King throws out sometimes just weird sentences.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Cujo was better book than movie. My imagination really went wild reading the book. Where would you put that, Ed? Where would you put it? How about you? Have you finished there, Dominic?
Yeah. I'm first giving it some thought, and I would put it on A as well.
A, okay. Let's see. Where would I put this? Well, we got two awesomes that I know of. We got one S tier. Wait, no. Where would you put it there, Venkman? Awesome. Dominic, where would you put it?
Awesome.
Dalton.
I put it in average.
Average. Alrighty. And me and Dalton are the same here. And we've got two awesome. We've got two average. What's below awesome is good. Yeah, that's why I didn't finish it. King is too horny for me.
Also, to be fair, Stephen King occasionally sucks at endings. Endings are not his strong point.
Alrighty.
Yep.
I'm thinking with two, and 1.
As a form of self-deprecating humor.
I'm thinking 2, 2, and 1. We're going to put this book right up in good. One, so it's right in the middle of the 2. We have 1 right here. So there you go. We put it in good. All righty. So Desperation. Desperation was, he wrote two books based on this one town. One was called Desperation, and the other one was The Regulators. And it's kind of mirror image. I like Desperation. I thought it was an interesting story. There's a cop at the beginning who ends up taking, I believe, a writer. One of the main characters' jail, and it's just like it's another zombie story basically. And I thought it was really good. I thought he kind of nailed it on this. I would put it in the good category.
Did I just see The Running Man on there?
Yeah,
I didn't know he did The Running Man. I read it before. I didn't know it was Stephen King though.
Well, let me tell you, this is one time where absolutely what you saw in the movie is not what's in the book.
Well, yeah.
This is That they didn't even, they took the name and said, yeah, well, that's all we need.
Yeah.
They had Arnold. They didn't need any more.
Running Man in name only.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Arnold. Do you need more? He's coming big
The,
off.
the book will not be back.
Jesse
Okay,
Ventura.
we've got a didn't read it. Ahsoka, by all means, tell us. We've got didn't read. That's for if something nobody on the has read. Then we have awful, bad, average, good, awesome, and S tier. So, desperation. Where would you put this, Dominic and Dalton?
You can go first, Dominic.
I would put it on good.
Okay, we got one for good. And by the way, once again, if you've seen the movies and not read the book, just tell us what you thought. If it's something that's way off, like Running Man, we'll mention it, because Running Man, it's more of a dangerous game kind of situation where it's just like in the movie, it's a game that's televised across the world. But what it is it's regular America. It's not taking place on any kind of course or track or anything. You're let out into America. You have to film a message every day and send it in. And based on the messages, people try to find you, and they send people to kill you if they can find you.
Yeah.
And that's the game. But wait, that's Running Man. We're on Desperation. If you've seen the movie, by all means, rate the movie. But Dalton, where would you put this?
This is a funny one because I actually forgot that it was on this list, or that it would be on this list. So I guess I'm gonna have to put it on average because I forgot that it existed, which is never a good sign.
We've got then two goods and a high middle of the road, just a middle of the road. So we've got two goods and two average.
And I said didn't read.
Then didn't read. I saw we're going Black House.
Says he didn't read either.
All right. So we got two goods and I'm going to put this here because we also have people who didn't read it there too much. So next up is Dr. Sleep. And I was surprised at this one. I liked it. I didn't even know it was a sequel to The Shining until I was reading it. So I found it at Ollie's, as a matter of fact, and ended up enjoying the heck out of it. And I like I think he really went. Stephen King did well. I would put this in the good tier, though. How about you? All right, go on ahead.
I have to give this book credit because I read this after watching the movie, and the movie is amazing. But honestly, this is one of the few times where I think the book, I think Stephen King actually managed to do a better ending than one of his movies, which does not happen often because Stephen King is not good at endings. So I'm putting this one in S tier, actually.
Okay.
Ooh, all right.
We have Dalton putting this in S tier, and Asaka is saying awesome. Alrighty, how about you, Dominic?
Well, I would. Ooh. Yeah, I will have to put Dr. Sleep on S tier as well. Not only for it being a sequel to The Shining, but really explore like what Danny has been up to after the events of the book, and also it had a very good villain because she is essentially a vampire, but a psycho.
Spoiler.
My wild
No, it's at the very beginning.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to Dolores Claiborne. Dolores Claiborne and Gerald's Game came out at the same time. At one point in time, they both can see each other, even though one takes place in the past, one takes place in the modern day. Dolores Claiborne is about a woman who plans to kill her abusive husband. And she plans on killing him. I believe it's when also she's finding out that her husband is sexually molesting her daughter. That's when she says, enough, he's got to go. He's got to die. She works for this rich lady who she's been taking care of forever and a day. And the rich lady ends up dying, and she's also being accused of murder. It's very rich. I love this book. Not S tier. I don't know what I'll put up in S tier. It's not this, but I would put this in awesome. Dalton, what do you think?
You might have to come back to me on this one.
How about you, Dominic?
I would put it under awesome as well, because it's what Dolores Claiborne and Gerald's game. Like he's showing people that he is not just a writer for horror. He can tackle a number of genres.
Okay, Asaka's putting it in average since can't remember too much about it. Okay, and where do you put this, Dominic?
I would put it under awesome.
Awesome. How about you, Dalton?
I would have put it in good, but I'm fine with it being an awesome.
Okay, and Miss So says awesome. So I think it's got a life up there. All righty, cool.
I put it in the good bill bin.
You put in the good. A lot of people did. That's how I got my hardcover copy.
Oh.
Dreamcatcher. Okay, you might have seen the movie on this one. Yes,
Average.
There are worms that come out of people's asses and kill people. There was a time when Stephen King was really on drugs. This is one of them. This is a mess of a book. This might actually be the first awful, but it definitely deserves bad. But personally, I am going to be putting this in the awful category. How about you, Dalton?
Yeah, I'm gonna. The number one thing that bothers me is the title makes no sense and means nothing. You would think it would be something about Native American mythology. You'd think it would be something about like a Wendigo or a Skinwalker or something. No, it's this weird quasi-alien interdimensional. What the? I just don't even with Dreamcatcher. So yeah, it's awful.
Saw Dreamcatcher in theater. I remember it was pretty bad. Never saw it again. I'll mark that down as bad. Read it. I can remember some of the bigger. Oh, that's the Dolores. Dreamcatcher is bad even for the time he was on drugs, says Ahsoka. So I say awful. Okay, that was the first one you say, so I'm going to mark that. How about you, Dominic?
Sometimes the drug trips can be a good thing for him, but every so often you get a bad trip.
It doesn't make sense, even in the bigger lore. You're right. It absolutely doesn't. He's done there. Well, Bag of Bones was good, I thought, and it was in the drug years as well. Dominic, how you feel?
Oh man, put it on. Yeah, put it in awful, because like even with references to it through Derry with the spray paint of Pennywise lives. It didn't really have that much of a connected tissue to the wider Stephen King universe, especially when it comes to the Dark Tower.
Oh, by the way, VENKMAN.
Yeah,
Stephen King is actually writing books for Hardcase. You know the comics?
I know about that. Yeah, I read his entries into American Vampire.
Yeah, he actually does books with the Hardcase label on them.
Yeah, so this one up here right now, the Stephen King that's in the picture. What is that book called?
That's called DOMINIC.
DOMINIC. Okay, never heard.
Yeah, I've got it. I have not yet read it yet.
It's just weird because it says Stephen King and that's it, and like there's Stephen underneath it. I was like, okay.
Yeah, let's see, DOMINIC.
I'm waiting for the Colorado Kid.
This is wealthy Minnesota building contractor Edgar Fremantle barely survives a severe work site accident wherein his truck is crushed by a crane. He loses his right arm while suffering a severe head injury, impairing his speed. Okay, on the advice of his psychologist, he relocates southward, renting a beach house on the island. It's not going to tell us. I mean, this is the entire plot. I just need a write-up.
Ahsoka, I think he's been writing them since 2013, even or maybe a little later than that. 2015 through Titan.
Put him away. Okay, so it says here, A terrible construction site accident takes Edgar Fremantle's right arm and scrambles his memory and his mind, leaving him with a little bit rage as he begins the ordeal of rehabilitation. A marriage that produced 2 lovely daughters ends, and Edgar begins to wish he hadn't survived the injuries that could have killed him. He wants out. His psychologist, Dr. Common, suggests a geographical cure, a new life distant from the Twin Cities and the building business. Edgar grew from scratch, and Common suggests something else. Okay, well, there you go. All right. What do you think there, Dominic?
Well, I would add like after he had his accident and relocated to the island of DOMINIC, he took up painting, which actually learns later that these paintings actually capture psychic visions, and he can actually manipulate the outside world through his paintings. So,
Okay.
Well, I mean, he is a Fremantle, and the Fremantle family in Stephen King's lore is hella shiny. So there's that.
So, man, as much as I know about it for quite a while, I have yet to like fully read it.
I haven't read it. Dominic?
Like I said, like even though like
I mean, Dalton. Dalton. I'm sorry, Dalton.
Yeah, you've done that like 3 times.
I've done it all night. Yes.
But I think it's okay. It's not great. I put it in good.
And Ahsoka's saying I read it once, and it both was sad and weird story. But where would you put it there, Ahsoka? Right now it's sitting in good, but we'll see if her review takes it up or down. I've never even heard of End of Watch, by the way.
Heard of the movie?
Yeah, I saw the movie, but it's not based on Stephen King.
No, I know. She said good, so the book.
All right. How about you, Dominic? Have you ever even heard of End of Watch? It's one of the hard case books.
I've heard of it, and I'm aware that it is the 3rd volume of the trilogy centering on Detective Bill Hodges.
Mr. Mercedes, Finders Keepers, and End of Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
However, I have yet to read the trilogy, but I want to. So I will have to. I'm gonna simply put it under didn't read, but
alrighty, that's where it sits.
Read it later.
Unless someone comes in, I gotta say I'm the way.
I didn't read it either, so just
Finders
read
Keepers. Haven't read Finders Keepers either.
No, me either.
Yeah,
right.
I will put it under didn't read.
Firestarter, I put average.
Firestarter's average to VENKMAN. Okay. I gotta tell you, I agree with him. It's got some decent moments, but overall it's just a flat line of a book. I do like the book more than the movie. The movie is dull as crap, but then that's kind of the book itself as well. For me, Firestarter gets an average grade.
Yep, that's exactly where it deserves to be.
How about you, Dominic?
Yeah, in spite of some of the good moments, I would put it under average as well.
Okay, we're getting 4 averages, including 5 if you include VENKMAN and Ahsoka saying the same thing. So, yep, let's go up to average for Stephen King books. And yes, guys, we're a comic book channel talking about Stephen King books from a Buick 8. I began, I never finished.
Geekery is geekery at some point.
I'm going to say, let's take this to average. That's my bid.
I did not know that Gerald's Game was actually a Stephen King based movie.
Oh, yep.
It was a really effed up movie.
It really is.
You're not kidding.
It's a surprisingly good movie. To tell you the
but
truth.
It's also really fucked up.
I'm starting to think there might be as many books I haven't read than I have read. What was the last one I read?
I'm just starting to think that Stephen King needs to go seek mental help.
Okay, I agree. All right, so From a Buick 8. Anybody else read it?
No.
Is that a sequel to Christine?
Oh no. Despite the name, it's not a sequel to Christine.
Darn it.
It's a mob story from what I remember.
The third one, Stephen King.
The third one is Oh goodness, it's the one that takes place in the hospital. Insomnia. King. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in average. There you go. Okay, next up, Gerald's Game. I know some of you may have seen the movie. It's a very good film if you haven't. Gerald's Game is about a man and a woman. They want to spice up their marriage.
Yep.
So they go out to a cabin. The guy decides he's going to get kinky. He handcuffs his wife before they have, they're going to have sex. He handcuffs her, and before anything happens, he dies of a heart attack. In the movie, she kicks him and it starts it, but he dies of a heart attack, and now she is left with the door open, and she has to find a way out of the handcuffs and to survive. And we get basically her story, her backstory, the whole 9 yards. Incredible book, surprisingly. It's the same to me. It's the same as Dolores Claiborne as far as quality. So I put this in the awesome tier.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting it in awesome as well. And yeah, the movie is one of the better Stephen King adaptations for the simple fact that it actually captures the just fucked upness that is the book. So yeah, that's where that's going.
Oh man, I would say average.
Okay.
But, the Moonlight Man,
yes,
is Ed Gein. Basically.
Yeah, he could very well be. Same goes to the movie. It's Gerald's Game is an awesome, if not S rank, says Ahsoka.
Creepy. And it's Bruce Greenwood. I was like, it's Batman.
Yep.
Killed by Catwoman, finally.
Dominic?
I would put it on awesome as well.
Okay. There we go. It gets an awesome. Okay, next up, we have the book called Insomnia. Now, this is a strange book here. So you have these time-traveling guys that this guy's in the hospital and such, so they want him to kill. No, they need him to protect somebody because the grandson is going to grow up and be something big, but there's a demonic presence there that's trying to kill him.
The Crimson King.
Say again?
The main villain is the Crimson King.
Crimson King. Okay, you remember better.
Introduction.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, which is the first introduction of one of the major big bads of the Stephen King.
Yeah,
universe.
the eldritch horror that basically oversees the entire Dark Tower shenanigans.
You know what? I've got the entire series. I've never read the Dark Tower.
Dude,
I was going to. No.
You
Okay, my defense. I put the collection together, and I wasn't going to read it until I had the entire collection because I didn't have the entire collection. But so I go to this Goodwill. I go to that Salvation Army. I go here, trying to find the hardcovers. I wanted a hardcover collection. Okay.
Yeah.
So
fair.
I finally put the hardcover collection together. And then we moved from Kissimmee to here. It's in a box in the most cluttered garage in the world, or it's under. So by the time I got the collection, I didn't have time to read it. It's sitting there waiting for me. It's not because I wanted to miss out. No, I just wanted that. I wanted the entire thing because I couldn't afford buying the $30 or $40 version. So I have to wait until somebody stops. Now I found Ollie's. Give it time. Ollie's going to have that Stephen King book for $3.99, so I'm okay with it. But Insomnia itself, I actually kind of dug this, but I got to tell you, I never had a feeling to go read it again. So I'm going to say average for Insomnia. How about you, Dominic?
I would actually put it under good because like you actually like connect with Ralph Roberts as he like goes through like this adventure, as he has to protect this young boy from the soldiers of the Crimson King.
Okay, where would you put it? Ahsoka's saying it's average for her too. So how about
he said good.
Good. Okay, how about you, Dominic?
You did it again.
Dalton, damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Dominic on this one. I think it's good. not great, but it's pretty good. And yeah, the fact that the Crimson King makes a comeback regularly from here on is also noteworthy.
Right.
So good.
Nope. In Gerald's game, Bunderdome, it's the woman who's tied up. Yep. All right. So, and you put it in good.
Yes.
So it's we've got two average, 2 good. Where should we put that? Where should we go then?
Say didn't read, so bring it down
to average. Okay, there you are. Stephen King's It S. Freaking S and a half.
Yeah, it's not even a conversation. It's going in the top category, and we are moving on because
this book is we don't have to discuss it a lot. If you've seen the movie, it's awesome. The book is awesome. Yes, it's got that one scene, but it's literally 3 pages. I don't give a shit.
Enough said. However, I was and still am disappointed that the material has not. They did not bring the freaking turtle in. Again.
I know. I thought they might in volume 2. I thought they might have brought in the cosmic turtle and everything. There is so much more to it than even though the remake of the movie, the theatrical release was incredible. They have not even touched on what.
I also didn't like how the ritual Chud was handled in part 2, because they could have had an opportunity with part one in really introducing Maturin and this may be a change, but actually give Bill closure with his brother, if his spirit appeared and he
there's so much more
thinking him and the rest of
don't spoil too much because there might be one person who hasn't read.
But
I'm looking right now, and here's the thing, and this is why I'm okay with doing this list. Miss So says, I didn't realize Crimson King shows up in Insomnia. So even if you're not, if you've only read a few Stephen King books, you might actually learn something and go, oh, that's the story to this one. That sounds awesome. Let me check it out. So it's a good thing. We'll go through these. Obviously, we haven't read everything, and that's why we got the didn't read category, which I will put Joyland in. It's at Ollie's right now, so I want to go get a copy, not during a hurricane, though. So let's see. Who else? What do you think? Anybody read Joyland?
I know of it, but I have yet to read it along with the Colorado Kid.
Yeah, I didn't read it either. So it's going in the don't read pile, I think.
Don't read unless somebody now if you are watching along and you want to join the conversation and you have read one of the ones on didn't read, whatever you're great.
Yeah, please feel free to weigh in because your opinion matters more than us at this point.
Really haven't read any Stephen King books this Tillium. I've seen some of the movies which are connected to his books. Now VENKMAN is ranking the movies that he's seen the book. So if you want to do the same, feel free to do the same.
I've heard of Joyride.
Which was a good movie.
Different franchise entirely, though. Unfortunately.
Joyland, something I read and I watched. There was a movie?
Hold up. No, there was. Wait, actually.
Wait, was there?
Hold on. Okay. So it turns out in 2018 it was announced that a TV series for Joyland was in development. However, as of November 2021, there has been no progress beyond an initial treatment for a pilot script.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see then. Let's put this in the don't read category, or didn't read, not don't read. And we're going to Lisi's story, which is another one I don't think I read. What was the plot of Lisi's story, Dominic?
Oh, dang. I do know that Lisi's story is another of the Castle Rock stories. It combines elements of psychological horror and romance, and it tells the story of Lisi Landon, who's the widow of a famous and widely successful novelist. Of course.
What are you trying to tell us, Stephen?
Novelists are awesome. That's Stephen King's message.
Okay. On that, besides that, the book actually tells two stories: Lisi's story in the present, and the story of her dead husband's life, as remembered by Lisi during the course of the novel. And actually, and with the genesis for how this book came to be is when Kingla came down with pneumonia at a hospital, and it came upon like from that particular experience.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so he pretty much he made this like as an image of like what his life and also the studio that he worked at, what would it be like if he had died.
Okay.
He wrote about his fever dreams. Basically,
where would you put it?
I would, again, like, even though I know this is another book of his, I know I have yet to read it.
Okay.
Try to keep it down to like a minute.
Yeah, I agree. We have to. Yeah, we do have to go.
Yeah,
quickly.
I didn't read this one either, so it's going in the didn't read pile.
Just
Okay.
give your explanation. Just give me your rank, and then if you ever read it or not.
Yeah, we need a TV guide explanation, basically. Misery. A very famous writer has a car accident in a snowy mountain town. As he's after he finishes his novel, and his biggest fan takes him into her house and keeps him captive.
Everyone has seen this movie by now. I'm sure no one had to explain that. But
I read this when we were out on a family reunion. I was bored because I was the only kid that came along. And so I picked up this Misery book, and that's what I spent my weekend doing. Holy crap. Loved it.
Yeah.
Once again, though, I've got to put it in the good, not the awesome.
Well, the book is good. Yeah, I will tell you that. And I would agree. I would put it under good as well.
Okay, VENKMAN.
Misery, James Caan. If we're going off the movie, awesome. If we're going off the book, I'd say good because I haven't read it.
Okay.
I would say good as well. I think this is one of the few that the movie might have improved a bit.
The movie only improved it because it took out a lot of the superfluous. Like, there is a novel within the novel that
Yeah.
you didn't need. You didn't need to read what he wrote to understand the story. And
I found that aspect interesting, but yeah, I can see why it was cut.
Yeah. Let's see. Miss So saying you won't be disappointed. The book series is great. It's King's Ode to his love of Tolkien, and that's the Dark Tower series. My introduction to Kathy Bates, she was so good in this. She really was. I didn't read the book, says Ed, but Saka says Misery was an awesome book. I've read the book and watched film, so it's awesome, and I believe it deserves the S.
The movie.
And Miss So is saying S as well. So
okay, I think we're gonna have to split it and call it awesome then.
Go on to the awesome tour.
Ahsoka says awesome.
Yeah,
okay, so let's move it to awesome. Alrighty.
Which honestly is fair enough, all things considered.
Yeah.
So
once again, I haven't read any of the trilogy, End of Watch, Finders Keepers, or Mr. Mercedes. Now, Ahsoka a couple times said that she's read a little bit of it, but since haven't read the whole thing, I'm keeping it in the didn't read. But we've got Mr. Mercedes. Did anyone here read that? Or if you're in the chat and you read it, you want to give us a little bit of a review, please do.
I didn't read this one either. Dominic, did you read it?
Man. Unfortunately, I didn't read it. However, the TV show for Miss Mercedes did capture it well.
Okay. Once again, if you did read any of the didn't read, just give a thing. We're going to move on though to Needful Things, of which I have read the book and watched the movie. I got to tell you, this is a case of the movie didn't do it better. It did it as well. But the thing is, you get so much more information out of the book. I like the book better. I think the book is an awesome book. So I'm going to put that in awesome. The way the devil comes to a small town and through a knick-knack shop ends up not taking over the minds, but saying to people, if you really want this, and when they touch it, they see the memory, they feel the nostalgia. And
Though to be fair, in the book, it was more heavily implied to be Nyarlathotep of Lovecraft fame than it was the devil.
I concur. Currently, again, like he does like come off as like one of Neil Lethotep's like many identities.
Yeah, and again, this Needful Things is one of the first Stephen King books I ever read, and it is also one of my all-time favorites. It's not perfect because, again, Stephen King doesn't know how to write endings to save his life sometimes. And honestly, I think it would have been a more interesting story if the objects were real and not just glamour. But that being said, I think we may have lost England. But that being said,
You're losing me too. Get to the point.
Needful Things is fucking fantastic, and it deserves to be in the awesome tier.
Will it ever get to the awesome tier? Will Engeltine ever get back here?
Will VENKMAN stop being a snarky little bitch and actually shut the fuck up sometimes? Who will ever know?
I'm trying to put you backstage, bro.
Yeah, and I don't fucking care. Fuck the police. I will not be silenced.
All right, hey, mate, keep it civil and clean.
Yeah, keep it civil like Marvel Civil War.
So bad. I think we're already there.
What? When Englentine does come back, I would put Needful Things under awesome as well.
Hurricane is currently in Orlando. Fort Myers had like what, 2 feet of water? No, or at least it's going to be soon. I mean, Fort Myers is flooded. That's funny. I mean, not as funny. I mean, because people lose their homes, but I'm just thinking like I can't imagine living in a place where you're on a sandbar and all you have is hurricanes, and then once it hits land, tornado. You're crazy. I mean, if you live on the beachfront property, or even in anywhere close to like in the land, or I guess Orlando, I'd say. I don't know what the waiting period is for insurance, but I'm just thinking like, everybody else is also applying for insurance. They'll replace their things, remember? But Dalton is the forgotten NWA member.
What does that mean? I forgot or never knew what NWA is. What is that?
I don't know if he's talking about the rap, or the National Wrestling Association.
What the fuck? Why? Yeah, I don't understand why I'm related to either of those two things. Rap is the lowest form of music, and wrestling is definitely not my thing.
I'm thinking that he's thinking rap because of the hat. Because like it kind of looks like the Run DMC kind of hats, they wear.
No rapper has ever been dignified enough to wear a top hat. I'm sorry.
Well, they can't. All they see is the bottom part, so they don't see that. But I still say you should get the giant Undertaker hat. Well, the '90s Undertaker hat. Get that.
Boot to the head, VENKMAN. Boot to the head.
Engeltine, I guess, said he still told me to keep going, so I guess we can talk about. I mean, does anybody else read comics here other than me? Like new stuff or anything?
I mean, we can move on with the tier list.
I don't have access to it.
Oh shit! Yeah,
we could.
At least we got past my favorite one, which is Needful Things first. I was really hoping that we would at least make it to Needful Things, and that was the one we ended on. So yay me!
So it makes sense. Dolores forming music. Hey, Dalton. No, say it so.
I stand by that. Rap is the lowest form of music, except for maybe scream metal.
Right.
Because it physically hurts. It physically hurts my ears to listen to it.
All right. So just to warn you guys, his power has been restored. He'll be coming back soon. So when he comes back, we all leave. Okay.
No.
Come on, man.
We're finishing the Stephen King tier list.
Like
God damn it.
it'd be the biggest prank ever. He jumps back on, we all leave.
Yeah, but
Well, actually,
actually, no. I like this plan because it would result in only VENKMAN leaving
Well, no, I take you with me, Dalton.
over my
Oh,
dead
so
body.
Yeah,
I shall
oh, you're
not.
really gonna
I
do
shall
this,
not
huh?
be moved.
I'll be taking your dead body with me.
But
Putting
No,
it in the
no.
casket where it belongs.
You kill me, I'm coming back and haunting your ass for the foreseeable future. I am that petty. I will spend my entire afterlife just fucking with your shit.
My name is VENKMAN, and you're talking about you're gonna haunt me.
Yes, if
don't-
you kill me, I'm going to haunt your ass. This is how this is working.
We have a containment unit to keep you in. We'll be fine. I'm not worried about it.
like he's a mystic, man.
Yeah, yeah. The standard containment unit doesn't work on magic users. That's pretty standard, even in the cartoon. That's why Vigo was such a pain in the ass in the second movie.
That's why I want a John
as well,
Constantine.
as well as Evo Shandor, because like Ghostbusters Afterlife is Ghostbusters 4 with
3.
Ghostbusters video game
It's
being
Ghostbusters 3. But
we
yes.
count the game.
Well, okay, if you count the game, yes, then that's fine. Ghostbusters. Honestly, I kind of wish they had referenced the animated series more in Ghostbusters Afterlife. That was the one complaint I had, was they didn't reference the animated series enough, because Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters animated series was amazing, and I love how much it added to the lore.
Token Spirit Guide, everything we had,
different ghosts, as well as the extreme Ghostbusters. Those I think like those two series, like they can like play in
They actually printed a actual Tobin Spirit guide to tie into Ghostbusters, and it was amazing.
That was awesome.
I actually own it. I have it in a box somewhere. And what's funny is the people who were working at this particular Barnes and Noble probably should have put it in some kind of pop culture tie-in section, but they put it in the occult section instead, which it was just like me being like, this is in the wrong section, but I don't even fucking care, because to its credit, Ghostbusters is actually a fairly accurate series magic-wise. Although, to be fair, also, Dan Aykroyd's family has a history of IRL mediumship and ghostbusting, so that's probably why.
Do you know who wrote a lot of the real Ghostbusters cartoons? It was J. Michael Straczynski.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it was so damn good.
It's a small world, after all. Which brings up the question of why the fuck was JMS's version of Doctor Strange so freaking weird? The one that was like the alternate universe where Strange was a Nexus or something.
I couldn't tell you. That's when he wore the red shirt instead of the blue shirt, right?
Huh?
That's the alternate universe where he instead of wearing the blue shirt, he was wearing the red shirt.
Maybe if I'm.
I don't know.
It's one of those alternate universes. I think it was actually meant to tie into the Ultimate Universe, kind of, but again, I don't know. I'd have to physically go and look up JMS's Doctor Strange to tell you that. All I can remember is they futzed around with Doctor Strange's lore for no good reason, and it was really bad. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not as overrated as the Oath. I freaking hate the Oath, and I want the Oath to go the fuck away, but that's neither here nor there.
That'll be an interesting discussion, because like I've actually read the Oath before. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either, because once again, I read it once some time ago, and if I find it and decide to like buy it from my local comic book shop, I'll give it a reread to see how it is.
I'll be fair and tell you that I don't hate the Oath based on the Oath itself, really. The Oath itself, like Dominic said, is mostly just kind of meh to average, but the reaction to the Oath is what makes me hate the Oath, because for some freaking reason everyone treats Doctor Strange the Oath like it's Doctor Strange's freaking like the template to do all his stories, and the problem with that is the Oath started this annoying habit of combining his life as a doctor and his life as a sorcerer. And the whole point of Doctor Strange is that he was being poorly served in his life as a doctor, and that he is better served from a spiritual standpoint being a sorcerer instead of a doctor. So combining them is really freaking annoying.
Yeah, I won't give you that. Well, also like the best Doctor Strange run, like besides Steve Ditko, would have to be Steve Englehart and as well as the '80s Doctor Strange run.
Yeah,
Hi, guys.
Roger Stern and Steve Englehart are the top tier Doctor Stranges. Although in terms of solo graphic novels, it's a toss up whether it's Doctor Strange Shambhala or Doctor Strange Triumph and Torment that's the best one. Why the hell didn't Triumph and Torment become the default Doctor Strange template
But
for the VO?
I was gonna quickly show off some books,
Good
before
question.
back. And I was just gonna show you what I picked up for that's a little deal. Comic book store. I got some graded books. I got myself.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Both, and I got recognize this one?
Yeah.
3.0. All right, it's both are Gene Colan.
Oh, by the way, just a little heads up. We were told 2 o'clock in the morning this is going to be the worst of it. We just had a bit of a brownout. The computer and some of the lights went off in the house, not all of it. And I was actually wondering what the hell happened, because the 2 screen lights that I have never went out. The computer, though, on and off really quick. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we're going to be able to get through this. So there you go. Hey,
back to the tier list.
Welcome back.
Soon feature auction.
Oh, that is a sweet, sweet book.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
That is 1 through 8, including Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing, and Spider-Woman.
That is pretty damn sweet. Okay.
Is that a masterwork?
Yep.
I see. Yeah.
All right.
The only masterwork I've actually been able to find IRL was the Submariner one, and if it had been a Doctor Strange one, I would have bought it. But it was like $70, and it was a Submariner book. And
So
while I love Namor the Submariner, I don't love him $70 when I'm on a $100 budget.
Marvel Spotlight number 32, Marvel 2-in-1 number is 29 through 33, and then Spider-Woman 1 through 8. Marvel Wolfman, Carmine Infantino, Ron Wilson, Archie Goodwin, and Sal Buscema.
Sounds good.
Right?
What the fuck is this?
I want to say like one last thing before we go back to our tier list of Stephen King books. John Byrne's Namor run is honestly like the best one for the character, and I will say Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme by Peter B. Gillis and artist Richard Case and Randy Amberlin is another of the best runs for Doctor Strange.
That's the current book, right?
No. This is actually from the '90s.
That one. Okay, yeah. The 90s one was pretty good.
All right.
No. The 4th volume for Doctor Strange was done by Jason Aaron of all people, with Chris Bachalo. He didn't deserve to be attached.
Yeah, let's not talk about the Jason Aaron error, or I'm going to rage again.
So the book on the books that's next up was Needful Things. Once again, incredible movie, great freaking story. I put this in the awesome easy.
Yeah, we all agreed while you were gone that it deserved to be in the awesome tier.
Awesome. All righty.
Needful Salems. I was like, wow, that's a good book.
It is a good book. If you haven't read it, give it a whirl. Pet Cemetery freaked me the F out when I read it. You want to talk about scary books? This book is scary. Stephen King, of course, master of horror books. He also writes about a lot of different things. And when he hits horror, sometimes it really nails it. This book embraced it. I'm going to put this in the S tier. To me, this is S tier. Yeah.
No arguments for me.
2 in the S tier.
Never read it, never watched it.
Man.
Do not watch the remake if you're gonna watch the movie at all, watch the '80s version.
I always watch the original. Same with it. I mean, I've seen parts of it, the original. I don't care for the new stuff.
Okay, well, I would recommend the new It over the original, but Dominic, Pet Cemetery.
Well, no, you're not gonna get anything from me. Just go put it on S tier. It deserves it.
Holy shit!
The book,
it is.
The book is terrifying. But besides for it, King also focuses on terror.
Okay, Pet Cemetery, in my opinion, is in the top 5 scariest books. Movie was horrible, book was amazing, and deserves the S tier. Shall I just move it on up to the side?
Yeah, move it on up.
All righty. Let's see. Next one up is one of the Bachman books. I actually have that collection of Bachman books, by the way. It's called Rage. You want to talk about something they will never make again? This is about a high school student who goes to school one day and holds his class hostage by gunpoint, kills a couple of kids. And he's the loser loner, and he is calling everybody out on their bullshit.
What year is
this? Will never see the light of day as a movie or anything.
Books that will never be made into movies, volume 7474.
I'm just saying, what year is this from? Because if we're going to blame Guns, I'm blaming him for this book for inspiring people.
This was in the early 80s, I think, maybe late 70s. It was after a friend told him that, well, your books are selling because you're Stephen King. So he decided, okay, well, let me try again. Richard Bachman. This is early in his career, too. So it's kind of weird that he let somebody get to him like that when he had, just recently became Stephen King.
I think it was just to prove it to myself, just to prove that what sells is the quality, not the name. I'm going to twist it.
Okay.
I honestly have to respect him for living by that principle, to be honest.
1977 says Ahsoka. Rage is a book that isn't going to be made again. This book is never getting made again or probably reprinted. It's awesome just for the fact it ain't going to be made into a movie. I'm going to say it's awesome because it's also an awesome story. Anybody else read it?
I've read it. It's pretty good. And yeah, like you say, it's one of those few times where you kind of get inside the mind of someone who's in this place in their head. So like, yeah. And yeah, it is never ever going to see the light of day again, which is a shame because much like Joker, sometimes you have to face that aspect of society, especially when it's relevant. So
okay, I'm going to let someone else talk about Revival. I did not read it.
Briefly, I want to make a correction of what I said earlier. Yeah, it's actually Rage that won't ever get a reprint, which is a shame. Not Blaze. And Blaze got a reprint. And yeah, like Dalton said, it's unfortunate that Rage isn't gonna get reprinted.
Okay, Ed says he didn't read it, so it's the rarest Stephen King books. I'm pretty sure. But if you can find that Bachman book collection, it's you could probably find it in there. I don't think they're going to cut. I wonder if they will reprint it in future reprintings of the Bachman books. What would you did anybody read Revival?
Shoot, unfortunately, this is another book I know of, but I've yet to read it.
Roadwork is another one of the Bachman books, and this one, a guy decides to join a construction crew so he can learn how to use the equipment. And what he does, he ends up driving a big hole or digging a big hole in the middle of a desert highway, knowing that a mob boss that ended up killing his wife always takes an annual trip down this one road. And what ends up happening is he digs a big old hole. The mob boss ends up driving in it, and he buries him. That's basically the story there, and it's okay. It's good. But overall, I think I would put this in the average. Anybody else read this one?
I put it on average, too.
Average? Or did anybody see the Christian Slater movie? That's basically...
What's it called?
I don't think I don't think I read this one.
It's called Roadwork. Actually catches Pretty Penny. Yeah, it does. It does. I saw how valuable that book was. I know of it, and one of the few I haven't read. This book is a story of revenge, and a good one, says Ahsoka. It's a good book, but average. So we'll put it in average.
Is that from a couple years ago with Christian Slater, the low budget?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that one. I'm thinking like 90s. Like I don't remember that. And like, oh, okay, it's that one.
It's based on a 70s story.
Yeah,
They did a couple.
That was really effed up.
Okay, Rose Matter is a strange book. It's about a woman who's abused, and she goes to this woman's shelter, and I kind of get lost after that. There's like a maze, a mentor. She's trying to avoid her husband. There's a gigantic nurse. I don't remember. I'm going to put this in average. Dominic, do you know more about this?
Yeah. So it's like with Rose Matter, like she also like goes and also has she discovers this painting which actually takes her into another world. And another like fun fact with Rose Matter is it takes on elements of Greek mythology. However, unfortunately, even though I do know of it like from its plot to the characters, this is a book I have yet to read but want to.
Okay, Dominic?
You did it again.
Dalton, damn. I don't know why I'm doing that.
But in any case, I actually like this one because, unsurprisingly, it's one of Stephen King's weirder ones, and I, as people know by now, I like the weirder side of things. It's kind of like an adult Alice in Wonderland in a sense, and I like that. So good is where I would put it.
Okay. Hold on just a sec here. Alrighty. Let's see if it lets me log in. God. All right. I was trying to get StreamYard on my phone just in case, but there we go. Okay, so this goes to...
Don't worry. If you leave, we'll do a show and tell.
There. Yep. Okay. Rose Matter is a good book that is good. It's one of the good weird ones. Yeah, I put it in good. Well, she's... okay. You're a little bit, it's like, put that in good. That's how I was reading it. All right. Salem's Lot. Dalton, you want to begin this one?
I mean, hasn't everyone some level of familiarity with Salem's Lot, whether from the book itself or the movie? It's Stephen King does vampires.
It's weird because it starts off as a haunted house movie or a haunted house book, because the writer goes to Salem's Lot to write a book about this Marston house. It's a haunted house at the end of the street in the town that he grew up with. And it starts off like that and ends up being a vampire book. Dominic, did you read this one?
A few times, and I can honestly like see this like be adapted into either another movie or a TV series. As a
matter of fact. Yeah.
Well, actually, once as a movie and then as a TV miniseries. But I would put Salem's Lot as it's a good book, and it also has connections to the Dark Tower as well.
Okay. And where would you put this one?
I just said it. I put it in good.
Good. Okay. Let's see. Salem's Lot, a vampire story. I can't remember. Yep. Never saw the movie or read the book. Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Did you watch the TV miniseries there, VENKMAN?
There was a TV miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
When that?
Yeah. The dude who did Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Which one?
the one that matters. The first one. Goodness. Toby Hooper? No. Yeah. But yeah. Wait. Yeah. Anyway, he directed Salem's Lot as well. So it is not your average TV movie horror film. It was pretty darn good.
Watched it, but I have seen it at Blockbuster many times when I walk through the horror section, the VHSs.
Well, I would put this S tier. myself. Dominic, where'd you put it?
He put it good, which
good.
means
Good.
it ends up in awesome.
It ends up in awesome. All right. Here's the thing. Salem's Lot is one of those books. I read it as a teenager, and we were in a nice brick house with shutters on the windows and everything. And it scared me because the way he describes the windows in the book is what I had. And it just it messed me up. That was a great horror book. Scary as hell. I'll tell you what, are you guys getting tired or you want to continue? I saw somebody, I think it was Soka, saying getting kind of tired.
We can keep going, but I will be right back because I've got to take my meds.
I think
So I'll be back.
all you gotta do is say the rank. Don't do descriptions.
We could burn through a couple of them. Well, I can tell you right now, I have not read these two.
I haven't read them yet.
I'll say one last thing for Salem's Lot. It is being adapted into a film for April 2023.
Well, hopefully it makes it.
Yeah, and also, this is good news. It is being directed by Gary Dauberman, who directed Annabelle.
Okay, those are actually pretty decent movies. The Annabelles. I was actually surprised at how much I liked them.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if it'll let me in 250-450. Gotcha.
Yeah, Sleeping Beauties. Oh.
Never heard of it, so.
Yeah, I haven't read it. It's Stephen King and Owen King. I read one issue of the comic.
And what were your thoughts with the adaptation?
Say again?
And what were your thoughts on the comic book adaptation of Sleeping Beauties?
Boring.
From issue 1.
It bored me.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, I would read the book over it though. But yeah, the comic kind of bored me. I didn't even know it was a Stephen King, Owen King book. I have to take my meds too, by which I mean a glass of Kentucky bourbon says, I'm a night owl. I have to read these two. I just took my meds. Ahsoka agreed with me that Salem's Lot should have been S tier. Yeah, I was in Texas when I really kind of glommed on to Stephen King. I didn't know anybody, didn't care to. I couldn't tell you the name of one person I met in Texas. And that's when I started just absorbing everything. I saw the Christine movie and it's just like, okay, I'll get this book now. I want this one, this one, this one, this one, this. And it was just everything I could get my hands on. Even read Dance Macabre, which is basically his book about writing books. So really dug on that one. Song of Susanna is part of the Dark Tower. Never read it. Like I said, it's waiting for me in some box in this house. So I've got to go about looking for them. What would you put Song of Susanna on, Ahsoka? What is your grade? What tier would you put that at? Same as Miss So, if you've seen it.
Well, for Sleeping Beauties, I would put under didn't read because I get to read it myself, but I do know its plot.
Okay, now I'll put Sleeping Beauties up on the didn't read, and if you guys want to grow until you get to Green Mile, I can rank the books as didn't read Green Mile. Well, if you've seen the movie and you want to say something about that, we're being nice to the movie watchers as well. But I'll tell you, some of these lose me because I didn't read the Dark Tower series, so there's at least 7 books of these. But yeah, I've got to be with everybody else. I watched the TV show, but didn't read Under the Dome. So that's where I stand. But everything else I read.
Well, Song of Susanna, I would put
the Song of Susanna.
Oh, dang. Yeah. Oh, this is tough. I still like. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, but how would you rank the individual books there, Ahsoka, saying that overall it was a disappointment? That is the question as we wait for it. Why can't I get to...
You're freezing a bit.
Say again, am I freezing?
A little bit. You were, and then you Zack does that. He'll like freeze, and all of a sudden he'll hop to the next thing.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I was wondering because something was going on. Like I couldn't get to certain things. So
if you have too many tabs open, close
yeah,
them.
I've closed up a lot of stuff here now. So because it was really slow getting back. Alrighty, here we go. I'm back and I can do this. Song of Suzanne built up the hype and was awesome for itself. I read all 7 of the Dark Tower books a few years ago. The ending was very disappointing, but loved the series in general, including the side book, Eye of the Dragon. Eye of the Dragon is not a side book. It was way before he started doing this. Yeah, so, well, I don't know. It was, the Gunslinger was released before that, so that's weird for me to say. But I do remember getting Eyes of Dragon way before I even heard of the Dark Tower. Who is England team leaving its comic book collection to? I have no freaking clue because my family doesn't need them or want them. So,
all right, I'll put Song of Susanna under awesome.
Song of Susanna under awesome. Dominic, did you read this one? I'm sorry, Dalton. Did you read this one? He's on it. Yet. He's getting his meds.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Once he gets back, like he will get his answer.
I'm back.
Song of Susanna, the part of the what you call it?
I think it's the second book in the Dark Tower.
No. It's 6. It's book 6.
Oh right, because okay. I got my order mixed up.
Yeah. So I answer. It should be under the awesome category. How about you?
I will say it's good. I think the Dark Tower series went down a little bit as it went along, which is kind of heresy, and I expect to be burnt for it by Stephen King fans one day. But I say it's good.
Okay, we got 2 goods and one good and 2 awesome, so I put in an awesome. Stephen King, The Dark Half. In this one, you have a writer, and he has a dark side, and his dark side kind of becomes an embodiment. You may have seen the movie with, I believe it was not C. Thomas Howell, but the other guy from Ordinary People, and recently The House on Haunted Hill. I got it. This is average. This is average to me. Actually, no, I'm going to say it's bad. I'm going to put it in the bad category. I didn't like this book at all. I didn't even like the movie, tell you the truth. How about you, Dalton? Did you read it?
The Dark Half?
The Dark Half.
Yes, I did. I would have said average. I'm fine with it being in bad.
How about you, Dominic?
I would put it on. I would put it under like. Yeah, I would put it under like bad. However, like, you can't like read it, but like once every while, because it is an interesting idea that a pseudonym, a writer pseudonym, like comes to life and decides to like wreak havoc. However, in terms of execution, it could have been done better.
Where would you put it?
I would put it under bad.
All right, 2 bads, 1 average. It is the 4th. Yeah, they have that. They have the book you were asking about. Went through a keyhole. It's here. Right now we have Dark Tower Volume 7, whatever that title is.
The Dark Tower.
The Dark Tower. Okay.
That's literally the title of book 7.
I haven't read it, so I'm going to leave the Dark Tower up to you and Ahsoka and Dalton. Tell me where you would put it. Susanna.
I would, in spite of the ending, it was the journey to it is worthwhile, and what gives it its readability. So I would put it under good.
Alrighty.
Yeah, good's fine.
Okay, and Miss So, I need to read all the other books related to Dark Tower. The Dark Tower is awful, says. So,
I think.
whoa!
I hope you're
thought
not
you
just
were-
judging from the movie, because the
Yeah.
movie is bad. Yeah, the movie is terrible, but it's nothing like the books.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw the
yeah,
movie.
for
The
some-
movie sucked.
Yeah, for some reason, like they advertised the movie as a continuation from book 7. However, it was, yeah, just don't watch it. Read the books, even ones that leads up to the Dark Tower.
It makes no sense, and the only thing that was good about the movie was Matthew McConaughey as Randall Flagg. That was okay.
I thought the Doctor was all right.
And Ahsoka has been on the books. I'm going to have to say this isn't a movie thing. She just didn't, and she's actually on record as saying it's a great journey to a bad ending. So yeah. Oh,
right.
there we go. I am judging for the books. I am very biased towards the series. The entire series is all awesome to me, says Miss So. Okay, we got it up on good. And next is the second book in the Dark Tower, The Drawing of the Three. Dalton?
Drawing of the Three is pretty good. I would put it in awesome.
Okay. How about you, Dominic and Ahsoka? And so, is the movie good for no knowledge of the books? Vic, the movie is bad. And that's from, I didn't read the series either. The movie was bad.
The only reason to watch it is Matthew McConaughey as Randall Flagg. That is the only reason to watch
You know,
Trace
the-
Paul in there with the mom.
yeah, it was such a waste because you got a great cast. They should have done, originally it was pitched as going to be a TV series. I think they should have gone with that, like each season being a book. Dominic, what about the Dark Tower?
I would
Book two?
put Drawing of the Three under awesome as well.
Okay. Okay.
I put her didn't read.
Me too.
That's for all the
Dalton?
past books.
I already said mine. Mine is it's pretty good, therefore put it in awesome.
Okay. We shall do that. Kaboom. It's awesome, if not S rank, says Osaka. So, okay. Awesome is good. All right. The Dead Zone. I will say this. Read the book. Don't watch the movie. I watched the movie recently. It is dull. I remember loving it as a kid, but I watched it as an adult, and it was dull.
I like the TV series.
The book, though, is really good, and it gets more into how his powers helps and hurts and so forth and so on. Loved it. Loved it. The TV series, Have never seen it. How about you, Dominic? Dead Zone, my boy walking, doing his best walking impression. Good to awesome from what I remember. Didn't read the book, but saw the Anthony Michael Hall series, and it was okay to good.
Huh.
That was it.
I
Dead Zone movie is awful, but the Dead Zone book is S tier. How about you, Dominic?
Huh. I would put it on. We'll put it under awesome because, like you said, like it explores like Johnny Smith and how his powers like can do like both like great good, but also like great harm. And we like see him like in his journey as he best he can prevent these disasters from happening. So I would put it under awesome.
Okay.
I put her under
How
awesome
about you, Dalton?
since I already get asked.
I'll say awesome as well. Yeah, Dead Zone's pretty freaking great. The adaptation, not so much.
How about you, Venkman?
Awesome.
Awesome. And we've got one S tier. The book, in my opinion, shows the duality of man, says Osaka.
I do recommend checking out the TV series. It was a sci-fi series. Over 5 seasons, I think. 5 or 6.
Oh, 6 seasons.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
There's a few books in the Awesome. Actually, I think Awesome has the most. Eyes of the Dragon, once again, side book or the beginning, the introduction to what a lot of people would know as the
The walking
Dark
dude. flag.
Yeah, the thing about Eyes of the Dragon is that this might seem like the introduction, even though Gunslinger was released before it was released in limited. So a lot of people would read the Eyes of the Dragon before they read the Gunslinger.
It also
My
happened
introduction-
chronologically first, so there's that.
Well, in my opinion, when I read it, I was about 15 years old, and I thought it was pretty darn good. But when I read it again as an adult, it kind of fell flat. I want to put this in average myself. Dalton?
I am gonna simp like hell for this movie or this book.
Okay.
I love Eyes of the Dragon because it's basically Stephen King as though he's writing a Arthurian legend, and it is probably I know how awesome The Stand is, but it's probably the best use or appearance of one flag. So
Okay.
I would say S if it were up to me.
Well, that is your vote. So you got an S tier, Dominic?
I would honestly put it under good, and also Miss So votes Eyes of the Dragon under S tier.
Yeah, we've got 2 S tiers, and then we've got an
One
average,
good, one average.
and a bad.
Well,
give
no,
it a
I said good.
Drop it down.
No, but Osaka has said bad.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So
Oh.
I'm thinking awesome.
Hey, that's fair.
Okay, because it does drag it down, but
I mean that's fine. I said I would I will forever simp for Eyes of the Dragon because it's my favorite use of flag.
Okay.
So there's that.
I want to talk a little bit about The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. I first got this on audiobook read by Anne Heche. By the way, she did a very good job. And then I read the book itself, and I've got to say, sometimes Stephen King can't get out of his way. What we were talking about with Civil War, you don't need Baron Zemo coming in because the difference of politics, the different view of the world is enough to carry the story. The Girl Who Loves Tom Gordon is about a girl. She's a baseball fan. She's now living with her mother and her brother, and her father was the one that introduced her to baseball, so she's very interested in it, and she's listening to the World Series while walking on a path with her mother and brother who are always fighting. And so she goes off to use the bathroom by a tree, ends up getting lost in the woods while listening, and she still has her thing on. And it's her trying to find her way out of the woods at the same time you get the World Series and everything. And she's all you need is a girl lost in the woods. But Stephen King can't help throwing in a demon bear with bees in his mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't need this, dude. It's an awesome freaking story that I'm afraid a demon bear with bees in his mouth. It could just be a fucking bear to make it that. It doesn't have to have bees in his mouth. But putting that in there kind of dropped it from S to me. I'm going to say this book's awesome. What about you? Did you ever read this, Dominic?
I know of it, but I did not read it. However, I did. However, I have listened from like others like through the grapevine of how good it is. So it makes me want to give it a read when I have the chance. So I would, yeah. So like, and also listening from you, I would like put under awesome.
Okay, now Ahsoka is saying the stuff that I just described is awful. Puts it awful.
I think she might still be talking about Eyes of the Dragon. And by the way, Ahsoka, I couldn't disagree with you more on Eyes of the Dragon.
But she literally says this is an awful book just from the Demon Bear.
Oh, okay. So maybe she
but
is
Miss
talking about it.
Miss So is saying it's an awesome book. So we've got 2 awesomes. What would you put this at, Dalton?
This one I didn't read. So
okay. So we've got an awful and 2 awesomes. Drop it to good.
I'll drop it further. Didn't read.
Didn't read. There we go. Okay. Let's see. The Green Mile. All righty.
Oh,
The Green Mile was an experiment because Stephen King wanted to do a chapter play in book form. So he actually released a chapter I believe it was every week of The Green Mile. And there were these little bitty thin books that cost like $1.99 or $2.99 at the time. And I got to tell you, I was on pins and needles. I want every chapter. Oh my gosh, give me more, give me more, give me more. The movie is freaking awesome. But the book is freaking awesomer. I think this is an S tier. Dalton, what do you think?
I'm not gonna disagree with you there. Green Mile in basically every form you can get Green Mile is pretty damn good. I would have said awesome, but I'm fine with it being an S if it ends up there.
Okay. We've got 2 S tiers, 3 if you count the Bunderdome, which I do. Venkman, did you see the movie at least?
Saw parts of it. I mean, the part where the guy grabs the guy's junk or something. That's all I remember from the movie. Sorry.
Okay. Well, we've got 4 S tiers. This is going up to the top. Yeah. We're taking this.
Michael Clark Duncan, right? And
yeah, he was nominated for the Oscar.
And that creepy guy who married Courtney Stodden.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was actually he was Jigsaw's brother in Punisher Warzone.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, the one chapter of the Dark Tower that I read was the Gunslinger. It's pretty damn good. I was actually I was impressed at this. Took me 4 tries, but I ended up finishing it. Yeah, I'm gonna put this. Oh goodness, I'm gonna put this in the awesome category. Dalton, did you read the Gunslinger?
I did. The Gunslinger is pretty freaking good. Although this is as good a time as any for me to voice a gripe I've had with the Dark Tower for forever and a day. Why did you change Flag's name? What was wrong with keeping him Flag?
Yeah, come on.
The whole Walter O'Dim, like, I get it. He uses a lot of different names, but they've always followed the RF motif. So why not keep him Flag? Especially given Eyes of the Dragon. So
in case someone misspoke, revealing it.
My major gripe with Dark Tower, or the Gunslinger, because it's the first in the Dark Tower technically, is a very petty. Why the fuck is he no Flag? So, but it's still awesome.
Where would you rank it?
Awesome. Okay.
It's awesome.
Awesome. All righty. Dominic.
I mean, when I first read it, I put it under good, because like there were like some of it that it could have been improved. However, looking back in retrospect, I would say good, because Drawing of the Three actually improves on book 1.
Okay. All right, we got 3 awesomes, and you would put it at good. I'm going to keep it at awesome if you don't mind.
I'm going to keep it at not good.
That's fine.
All right. Boom. Okie dokie.
A lot of awesomes.
Okay, so 3 awesomes and 1 good. It took King 30 years to write all the Dark Tower books. Maybe he just wanted to change the name. That could be true.
Yeah, but the power of the name Flag to all of the Stephen King fandom is such that we all wet ourselves every time he shows up. So I still question that logic.
So here's the thing. You are offered a deal. If you could walk, what would take, I guess, basically 4 days or something like that. I remember doing the math. But this is the long walk. You cannot stop for any reason, whether you have to use the restroom, whether you have to eat, whatever. You have to keep walking. And it's something like this. I forget what the number is, but it's a long, long way, like from one state to another. You couldn't go below 4 miles an hour, so you had to keep up a brisk pace. If you fail, you get killed. That's The Long Walk, ladies and gentlemen, from Stephen King writing as Richard Bachman. This is one of my favorite books, not the favorite, which was Rage, but I would still put this as an awesome. How about you, Dominic?
Yeah, I would put it under awesome as well.
Alrighty, Dalton.
In answer to your question, I would be walking nowhere, but that's beside the point. But nevertheless, yeah, it's pretty freaking amazing. So awesome it is.
Sokka says awesome as well, and it goes to the awesome territory.
Just gonna walk away from that joke.
Right. Well, not Dalton.
Either I can own it or somebody else is gonna make the joke. So
okay, so what is this book right here with the Upside Down Man?
It's called The Outsider, and
The Outsider.
It involves this coach for this little league baseball team, and he is accused of a crime for the mutilation and rape of this individual named Frankie Peterson, and it's a mystery, so it does crime fiction. However, there is like horror as well as everyone's trying to get to the bottom of why this coach, why they say people think that the coach killed him. While it doesn't make sense because he's been with the little league team for a good long while.
Okay, and where would you put that?
I would put it under good.
Hey, wait a second. Is this the Billy? I noticed they don't have that book here. Billy something or other, the baseball player murderer. Huh.
For the Colorado Kid.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, that one too. So they are missing a couple. All right. So where would you put this again? You said good. How about you, Ahsoka? Yeah. And how about you, Dalton?
This one I haven't read.
Me neither.
So, yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll move it up to good, and if Ahsoka changes that with her review, we will move it. And Maranya, if you could take care of that. There we go. I got it. I got him. Okay. Let's see.
So I heard that Ahsoka and Ed Byrne are saying the exact same thing. Now we know his alt account.
Oh, yeah, I saw that too. The sheer exhaustion would kill somebody. Okay, going to the other side of desperation, we have the regulators. The regulators. And this one is more about I forget which one is which. I don't remember the regulators as much. So I'm gonna have to say average. I know I read it, but I've absolutely forgotten it. So definitely average. Dominic, how about you?
Shoot.
Regulators, Milna. Yep.
Shoot, man.
G. Warren?
I didn't know. No, I mean, like, I know of the plot as well as the characters. However, I've yet to read it.
Okay. Dalton?
Yeah, I didn't read it either.
Okay, the regulators is getting me mixed up with the one movie with the what is it, Young Guns? All right, there we go. Let's see, The Running Man. Once again, this is one time the movie can't keep you, guys. This is a way different thing. I would love to see an actual movie based on Running Man. This is like I said, you enter this and you are sent out into the world. You got to send back, hey, I'm fine, I'm here. You don't tell them where they are, but and people try to figure out where you are and capture you or kill you. I love this book. I have read the Richard, other than, I got to tell you, I love all the Richard Bachman books. I would definitely put this at awesome. It is just a great, dangerous game kind of story. How about you, Dalton? You've read this. I know you've read this.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking good. I basically love every time there's a Most Dangerous Game type thing going on, up to and including the original Most Dangerous Game, but that's neither here nor there. But this one is cool because it's kind of like it's Most Dangerous Game if it were done as a Black Mirror episode almost.
Yeah.
So I would put it in awesome, I think.
Okay. Let's see. We've got an S tier from Ahsoka as well. Dominic, did you ever read this one?
I would. Yeah, and even though like I did watch bits and pieces of the movie, it did introduce me to the book, So I would put it under awesome as well. I would also like to bring up that a new film adaptation for the novel is in development with Edgar Wright attached as the director.
All right. I think we're in
That'll
for some
do,
goodness.
pig.
Yeah.
Dominic,
Okay.
any way you could talk louder into your microphone? You're kind of quiet.
Okay.
I just
Yeah, you are kind of it is like you're talking while you're walking away. Yeah. All righty. I just noticed the last two of these I'm not going to have an opinion on, but let us talk about or do we have to talk about The Shining?
Oh, and my vote for you never got my vote for the book at
sorry.
all. You just go to these two guys, ignore me. So I go
But
ignore
which one? The Running Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you the movie has nothing to do with the book. But
I read the book though.
You read it? Really?
Yeah, I read it back in middle school.
Where would you put it?
I'd put it over as far as awesome.
As far as awesome. All right, cool. Yeah, that's where we ended up. But yeah, it's such a great book. I'm jazzed.
You don't ask me, you just go straight to Dalton, and then you go to the next book.
You told me.
Normally you haven't read these, so
did you read? I apologize. Did you read The Shining, Venkman?
Yeah, I read The Shining.
Okay, then start us off by all means.
Is that a good book? I'm not giving you a 5-minute answer. We'll be doing that all night.
Okay, so Stephen King, The Shining. Once again, I don't think this is one we need to discuss. It's S tier, in my opinion.
It goes to the
have
end.
a good night, Ahsoka. I'll tell you what. If everybody's getting tired, I'm getting tired myself. I've done 4 or 5. We can stop here, and then tomorrow, fingers crossed, we have power. Pick up and not only do this, but then rank them.
Yeah, that works.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So yeah, The Shining is S tier. The Stand average. Talisman. Oh, here you go. We got Ahsoka's rankings.
Wait a minute.
Is S tier. The Stand is average. Wait, average. Talisman good. Then Tommy Knocker's awesome. The Wasteland awesome. Thinner. Haven't read it. And The Wind and Keyhole. Good.
I suspect that you, Ahsoka, have not read the unabridged The Stand with the extra material in it, because
it's amazing. I guess we'll finish. We've got
one of the greatest books ever written.
Ahsoka was one of the ones that were really participating. We've got our tiers. We'll do the ranking tomorrow. Ahsoka, join us for that. I'll write them down as we go. But Shining, S tier, anybody?
Yeah, nobody's arguing here. Yeah,
no doubt about it.
The Shining is freaking.
Yeah, duh. The Shining is good. Who knew? But I will say, Stanley Kubrick owes Stephen King an apology for what fuck he did to the movie.
Please and thank you. The Stand, and we got an average grade from Ahsoka.
Alrighty.
S tier from a Dominic. Dalton. God damn it, Dominic.
No, you did call me. I put it on S tier.
Alrighty, and let's see. So we've got 3. Venkman, you ever read The Stand?
Nope. Watched the movie. Actually, I watched the miniseries with was it Matthew Good?
Did you read the 1980s or did you read the modern, or did you see the modern?
I didn't read the book. I watched the movie.
Yeah, did you see the one that stars Rob Lowe?
Is that?
Did you see the one that stars Mars?
I think he's talking about the 90s miniseries, the good one.
The good one, yeah.
The guy Max Headroom, wasn't it?
Oh yes, you watched the good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which side note, while we're talking about The Stand, yes, it belongs in S tier, and I swear to God, if it goes anywhere else, I will riot. But the 2020 adaptation was terrible, and I don't know how the hell you make a bad Stand adaptation during an actual pandemic that you can pull life experience from. But they somehow managed it. In 2020.
God, you know what? MARANYA, you're absolutely right. MARANYA is pointing out that this list doesn't have night shift, but it doesn't have any of the short stories. This is an incomplete English. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the same thing, MARANYA, that I did with the other list we did with the movies. Between tomorrow and today and tomorrow, so long as I have power, I will make sure that the missing books are on here, and before we rank them, will rate them. Because you're right, there's none of the short stories here at all. The Skeleton Crew's not here. The oh goodness, what was the next one? The one with the rock and roll story, and the one that basically they made the TV series off of. Also the one that looks like a cigarette pack isn't in this.
The one about the little girl and like the magical box that gave her chocolates that were magic. That might have included flag or maybe not, depending.
Yeah, there's a lot of the collections aren't in this.
It's about Gwendy's bun box.
Different seasons.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but different seasons is a novella, not a short story collection.
Well, point being is the collections aren't here.
Nor are the actual short stories the ones that stand alone.
The collections aren't here, and like Night Shift isn't here. Different Seasons isn't here. You don't have 4 Past Midnight. You don't have everything is Hearts. So I'm going to find all the missing books and I'll put them on this, and we'll
and I think that this is a good place to call it as any because we
So my question for the fifth time was it Langoliers?
We can end part one by giving the stand its final ranking.
Okay, the Langoliers was one of the short stories.
Okay.
No, Langoliers was made for TV, if I remember correctly.
Was it only made for TV?
Did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was actually a story for Langoliers.
I want to see more of that.
Okay, so the stand, we have 2 awesomes. We have 1 average. I didn't put mine in, and it's getting an S tier. But we have 1 average.
It might as well be called the stand tier on this list, frankly, because I will go so far as to say it's Stephen King's magnum opus. You're talking about the unabridged
we'll save the rest for tomorrow, because we have basically been on for 3 hours, and I appreciate it, guys. This was a hurricane stream. See if we lose power and all that kind of stuff. We were told we were going to get the worst of it around 2 o'clock, and the wind and the rain have been freaking horrendous out here. But it looks like we may survive this. I hope by the time Gail and I go to sleep, we wake up, we still have power. I do apologize. We had an auction yesterday. Please understand that I'm not exactly able to ship books today, and more than likely not tomorrow.
And if there's no
power, hurricane.
If there's no power tomorrow, stop over by me. Geeky Puppet Show. We're reviewing the best books of the week. At 7 o'clock.
There you go. There you go.
Or
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
8 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
7 o'clock. So, yeah, 3 hour 2 is not.
If I do have power, we'll start at 9 tomorrow. Sure. That way we give Geeky Puppet Show time to finish. All righty. So thanks for hanging out. These list shows are always fun. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you guys like the tier list. It's getting me back into, like, I'm not feeling downer anymore. I'm having a good time with these. These are a lot of
actually, I actually will be starting at 8. So it will be 9 Eastern your time.
Okay, I'm giving you an hour.
Well, it's only because Zach has stuff until like 9 o'clock Central. So I do all my stuff first, and then I let him do his books, and then we're done.
So that's my 10 o'clock, right?
That'd be your 10 o'clock.
I ain't starting at 10, dude.
No, I said go and start when you want to start. If you have power, though, that's the thing. Yeah. If you guys don't have power, stop over by me. And if he does have power, stop.
Power.
He does have power, and you're bored of this. Come watch. I got comic books, bro.
So you're saying
boot to the head, Venkman, boot to the head.
Did he just challenge me?
I think he called us all boring. I think is what happened there.
I think Geeky Puppet Show just called out I love comics.
No, I called out the Ben Steins. We're talking for 5 minutes for each freaking book.
It's called having an informed opinion, you dolt.
So, I only have 30 books in a tier list.
Peace out, all you beautiful mother. Okay, have a going, guys. If Maranya's right, if you don't mind helping out the channel, there were no super chats tonight, but that's what I'm looking for. So if you don't mind helping out, go on over to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till. Otherwise, please share and comment. Let the algorithm know that these are worth it. So when the video's posted, which should be in just a few seconds, just go over, say, hey, that was kind of fun, or really 3 hours on Stephen King books, you comic book channel. Just say whatever you want, and I definitely appreciate it. And as always, thank you very much for doing that, and thank you very, very much for watching. You kids have a great time.
You watch your tears.
See you all later.
Cheers, guys.
And we'll do comic books later. I've got a lot of comic books to do. All right. So anyway, you guys have a great time. Good night.
Cheers.